Welcome, everybody, to the Making Awesome podcast. This is episode, I think, 266. It'd be smart if I actually had all that ready, but as usual, I don't. Yeah, it's 266. Okay, I was right. See? I was right.
Yeah, sure.
Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
I am okay, question mark. This week has been, again, another killer week, dealing with the more backward and forward with the insurance company, who have now decided they're not going to scrap the car to they're going to repair the car, to now undo the repair the car to going back to scrapping the car. And now I'm just looking at Auto Trader 24/7 going like, holy bollocks, my courtesy car runs out in 4 days. But other than that, I've been looking quite closely at the days, as it's only about like 250 days until my wedding, and I need to make a load of invites, and I'm definitely not going to put a load of camera equipment and like other manufacturing equipment like UV printers on the wedding budget. Definitely to make like wedding stuff. Yeah, definitely, and not that I just really want them and an excuse to buy them.
I mean, isn't
How have
that
you been?
what, like, basically most of a wedding registry is for people, right? Just
Yeah,
stuff
pretty
that they want, but can't validate themselves to purchase, so they're going to ask other people to purchase it for them.
Like, I have the idea at the moment to get a couple of those 100-watt Xeon like
little panel
RGB
lights.
cob lights,
Yep.
those panel lights, because you can screw on any lens attachment to them. So on their own, they're like these 20-watt ones that I bought to me on Form Next, but then you can screw anything on it. It goes up to 100 watts of RGB, which is really good, and they're not that expensive when you consider like the price of them.
I like $100, right?
And yeah, they're like $100, maybe 150. And like I'm like, oh yeah, we could put them in the wedding tent because we're doing ours in a gazebo. It's going to be gorgeous, but the lighting is going to be a bit naff for photographers because it's those awful like 240-volt like low CRI lights that are everywhere. So I'm like, nah, I'm a photographer. It's got to have good lighting for those photos. So I might put on like a dozen or so of these cob lights. Definitely not to keep afterwards. Definitely.
So I guess if you want to tell people the news, this would probably be the right time to tell them.
The news
from last week that
I said. The news.
Yeah.
Go on. It's your news, really.
I guess so. This is the first in my life. Well, I guess it's not. It is technically not the first in my life, but I hope it lasts longer than the first time it happened. But that's normally how things go, right? The first time's a little rough.
First time's always the worst.
Yeah. I was asked to be Jacob's best man, and I accepted.
Yep.
So I will be...
Like, we've literally flown around the world together. We speak to each other more than I speak to most of my family members. It just made sense.
We've seen each other in very little clothing.
Oh, yeah. Hot and steamy. We've been to spas together.
We have? Uh-huh.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. It's always fun. But yes, that was the thing that we didn't talk about last week, but yeah, I have no clue what it actually entails to be a best man and all of that, so I have to like
Neither do I.
Go and figure that out. And as Wexter said, oh yeah, that part seals the deal. By the way, it was Wexter's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Wexter. Everyone wish happy
birthday.
Wish Wexter happy birthday in the chat. If you guys are joining us, leave a like, get subscribed if you aren't. Bearded Printer throwing out 5 memberships. Thank you very much, sir. Karen Chow got 1. We love her. She's over in the Discord, makes some really, really awesome models, and is like, if you were in a room with Karen, you'll know, because she just lights up the whole friggin' room. It's awesome. We have Merv Varserberg. I'm going to butcher people's names. Soy Latte Girl, Kenneth Davis, and Cregord are all in the now behind the scenes access, which is fun. We got Mr. David Tobin here.
Hi, David.
Hey, David. How you doing, boss man? You have
Also,
been a
before we
busy
get too far
man.
into the stream, how's the microphone sounding for people on your side? I'm trying it out differently from the standard like XLR mic. Trying out the new Rode Go Gen 3s plugged directly into the PC. Just means I don't have to accidentally hold the microphone around.
Yeah, and does it have the dynamic range of your other mic? No. Does it solve all of your other problems with a slight drop in dynamic range? Yes. Is it
100%.
worth that? Absolutely. Make sure that it's got enough battery life. But I don't think this is going to be a 4-hour episode, so I think you'll be
Oh,
fine.
I fully charged it. And the nice thing is, because it's on a computer, it tells me I've got 67% battery and it's already been on for 2 hours.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So there's a lot. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Nisham is just trying to at this point fund the YouTube channel. Boss man,
You can keep doing that. I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with it
100%.
too, but boss man, hey, DM me or something and I'll get you into the Discord, because at this point you've paid for a year of Discord access. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
easily.
$99.99 drinks for the bachelor party. David is saying bachelor party ? Yes, Jacob is getting married at some
Yep.
point in the next 300 days.
Well, we just submitted for our wedding license because this is the UK. You need a license to do anything.
You need that
So
in the
we've
States
done our
too.
wedding license. We have our meeting in September, and we're aiming for like a late April like timeline for the wedding, which is definitely coming along faster than I expected because I was like, it's 380 days away. It's 250 days away now.
Yep.
Like, oh.
Tobin says, amateurs do booze and strippers, take some shrooms and play laser tag. How about we don't end up in jail? Although British jail probably sounds kind of cool. Thank you very much, Nisham. It is always appreciated for your donations. We love you, buddy. Zaxman is saying not to lose sight of the ring bearer. This is a funny one because, or Da Vinci said it and Zaxman said it. This actually happened the first time that I was a best man.
No.
Yeah.
No, don't
Yep.
say that.
It did. It did. The ring bearer.
I think I'd die if I lost the rings.
Dropped the ring. This was an outdoor wedding, and it was a tungsten ring. So we couldn't find it. My dad, being the clutch man that he is, pulled off his ring, tossed it to the groom. Groom uses that as his ring because it was the groom's ring that went missing. Then the next day,
I can live with that. I can live with that. I don't really care about my ring.
Right. And you know, the next day we're literally spaceballing it, combing the desert with rakes through the yard. Myself and the gentleman are off heading toward the coast to get oh, what the hell is it?
Metal detector?
Yes, a metal detector. And right as we're paying for the metal detector, we get the phone call. They found it.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
Hey, at least they found it.
But that marriage did not last very long. So, but he's now happily remarried to a just lovely gal. Even Trisha, I wish you all the best. Trisha is an amazing gal, very close friend for many years. We've since fallen out. Just you get older and you stop talking to people. It's nothing important. You know, it's just nothing personal. It's just the way that it happens. But yeah, they're good people.
Paths diverge over time.
Dude, they've got a kid now. Like, it's very interesting to see like, you know, people's lives change a little bit different. It's always fun. And Tobin said he just bought a metal detector last week. You know, it's one of those things that I've stayed away from, but living close enough to beaches and areas that tourists go, it's like, I mean, this could be fun. But I also know that I have impulse control problems, which is why I haven't gotten one.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about impulse control problems, definitely. Do not send me to go shopping for food, because I'll go with like 4 things on my shopping list for food and come back with 30 things.
No.
Way above my budget.
You can't go shopping on an empty stomach. You have to be full, because then you don't care about the crap. Right?
Yeah, but I don't think that way. I'm like, oh, oh, Rosie would like this in like 4 days' time. So I'll buy that. And then like, oh, I can make a really nice meal with this as like a little treat, like a stay-in little date. So I'll buy that. And then I'm like, my £30 shop is now £140.
That happens. That happens.
Why did I do this to myself?
Jimmy said when I was married, I was reaching my hand forward fast for some reason next to the car. Darn thing flew off straight into a 1.5-meter wall of snow. Rip. Yeah.
Never fun.
Yeah. So we will have to like embed some sort of tracker into the rings just to make sure, you know?
Oh, that's a great idea.
And we got to get your robotics buddy to lend us one of their big robot dogs to be the ring bearer.
Oh my God. We could make that happen. I could make that happen.
Oh, I know he would be totally down for it. I'm just adding that to the list of like weird things we have to do at the wedding.
Maybe I could add it into the wedding budget.
No, that's a lot.
Obviously, it's for when we go to like Form Next Door stuff, so we can carry our bags. Because our bags are heavy, and like we're technically like you've got disability, you've got broken back. I'm registered disabled. Like, yeah, this is an accessibility thing. This is a workplace safety thing.
All right,
yeah, it's about workplace safety.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but I do want to get to the main subject.
We should get two of them
because I think you're gonna like this. I have a tile in my hand. It is a literal piece of bathroom tile. Because when I was at ISTE, Matter Hackers had the Eufy make E1. U1?
Yep.
E1? E1.
U1. E1.
It's E1. On display, and they were giving out little samples. And I've seen the UV printers before. I've looked at them. I've said, that looks kind of cool. But I've never, like, physically held apart from it and been able to see this level of color fidelity.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like,
that's turned out great.
You can see the thickness to it. I mean, and is it AI designed? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But looking at, and I'm deliberately getting it to catch the light so you can see the texture on it. But like, dude,
that looks great.
That color fidelity is just absolutely incredible. Some of the best color fidelity that I've ever seen. Like, dude, well, I'm out of focus. It'll figure itself out. This is like as nice, if not nicer, than some of the like industrial UV printers that I've seen. And yes, the downside to all
it makes a little bit of sense because a lot of these printers are using an industrial print head.
They are. Most of them are using the Epson print head.
Yeah.
But there's so I've only seen the Eufy make one in person. X-Tool's got the O1. There's the Heygears G1, which that one so far seems like it's between Heygears and Morpho right now, and then you've got the Morpho. I don't even know what they're calling it, but it's the Morpho something.
See, I'm not sure on the Morpho because I have no idea what backing they have. Like, in theory, from their claims, looks pretty good, but at the same time, because they're still using the Epson heads, and you've got that thick printing ability.
Yeah.
So you can do quite thick objects, but
and then
again, it's that kind of like.
But see, and
I'm not sure.
I'm like kind of. I think I want to change for similar reasons. I am worried about the software on the Morpho, and that's where X-Tool is going to like basically decimate the community. Is X-Tool's software. Like, I am a die-hard Lightburn user. Die-hard Lightburn user. Okay.
I do love Lightburn.
And I have an X-Tool F1. They sent it to me for review. We did videos on it, and I've been using it for years, right? I actively choose to use their own software. because the Xtool software is just easy. It's just easy. And Xtool has 2 print heads. I don't know if you're able to use one at a time, or if that's a failover thing, or if that's just for faster printing. I don't know. I don't know much about the Xtool variant, but I will say, I think from a software side, I'm gonna likely move my needle over to the Heygears and to Xtool, mainly because the Xtool software is going to be good.
Yeah.
All right,
Like,
Xtool.
interesting. A couple of people in the chat are saying that oh god, where was it? I just read it. The Heygears and Morpho have the option for the better grade of head than the Xtool, which I thought was quite interesting because Xtool was one of the ones on the top of my list, but also it's one of the most confusing choices because it's got 2 heads. It's a twin head system if
Yeah.
you want it to do more than one thing, but you have to choose. Do you want fluorescent ink, and it's only like red and yellow or red and green fluorescent ink as your extra colors in one of them, or do you want the flexible inks for fabric printing, like on t-shirts, and basically not hard resin print?
Right.
And that made it kind of difficult because I kind of want to just, why can't you just put both through? Can't you just pick out an ink and put another one in? Apparently it's not that straightforward, which kind of sucks.
No,
and then I look over at the Morpho, and guess what made the Morpho really interesting to me? Electrostatic bed. You can put thin materials on it, it sucks it down.
But I feel like if you set it up right, even putting some clamps on the edge with a thin material will be fine as long as it's out of the path of the UV print head, which most of these have some level of camera system to determine, hey, am I going to run into something? And yes, there are 2 versions of the G1s. The G1's currently on Kickstarter, so I'm going to preface this with, it's a Kickstarter. Don't back it with money you're not willing to lose. There's no guarantee you're going to get a product. Every single amount of risk exists on Kickstarter. However, Heygears is an established company. I don't necessarily have a problem with them using Kickstarter for this because this is their first foray into UV printing, so it is a completely different business segment for them, if you will. But there are 2 variants. You have the G1, which uses the consumer grade F1080 print head with 6 ink channels. And so that is $1,999 US dollars. Or you can go up to the I3200 print head with 8 ink channels, which is a CMYK and LCLM ink set. I don't know what those are, but fine. It's an 8 ink channel, much more expensive at $3,299 US dollars, but you go from a 720 by 900 DPI precision to 1440 by 2400. Now,
that's a big difference.
It's a big difference. In practical applications, I'm not certain it matters that much. I think the extra ink channels are going to matter more. When you look at, like, you know, just better, more ink channels. And I guess it's able, okay, so they're also claiming LCLM is going to be your transparent. That's going to be your transparent.
That makes sense.
Because they're also claiming its ability to do actual full color 3D printing. So it's built.
I've just been reading the Morpho thing on Kickstarter, and towards like the middle, it says save over 90% on maintenance ink, no cleaning liquid, no moisturizing liquid. And I've been going through.
If you're using the same print head as everybody else, I don't believe this.
Well, they said like many desktop UV printers use the F1080 print head.
Yeah.
I'm halfway through their document now. They haven't actually said what print head they use.
It's an industrial 30. It's an I3200. It says it on their main page.
Yeah.
Um, so I will say,
So
here's
this
the thing
might
about
make the Morpho more interesting because the biggest one is you don't want UV ink stuck in a print head
no.
because it will just write off the print head.
So
Like once it's cured, it's over.
so here's the thing to note about Morpho, and I think this actually bodes well for them. Former DJI. They worked alongside of Dr.
Oh,
Tao
really?
and some of the team that ended up launching Bamboo Lab. And if we've seen
Oh,
what and like look, I know people have pretty heavy opinions on Bamboo. Still, when we post videos, even praising them, there are opinions. Um, I think nobody can ignore the fact that Bamboo democratized 3D printing. They turned it
yep.
into a consumer electronic. They turned it into an appliance. You can literally go buy a Bamboo printer in Target. In Target, if you will. And dude, their consumer packaging looks incredible. Like absolutely incredible. Uh and so if Morpho's got kind of the same design style of people, right? They
Yep.
were all kind of together in this group. Honestly, that bodes well for me, and that brings the initial. It helps pass that sniff test, right? And that sniff test to me, especially with a new brand like Morpho, is the biggest thing. And
Yep.
like we saw what Bamboo Studio looked like when it first came out. I know it was basically just a reskin of Prusa Slicer, but they did make the UI and UX better. And so I have some decent faith that Morpho software is going to be good, but will it be good at launch? I don't know. I don't know. The i3200, so that's the same one as the Heygears extra special one. Do we have numbers on the Morpho yet? No, we don't. And they're doing this whole pay the deposit. Oh, we do. Okay. Super early bird, $27.99, MSRP $5,000. Uh I'm assuming that's going to be basically the same
And is this for
MSRP.
the Heygears or is this for the Morpho?
Morpho. So Morpho's looking at super early bird, $27.99 for the i3200, and the F1080 is going to be $15.99. So they're right below where everybody else is. I guess Sam Prentice was out there apparently.
Yep.
He sat down with Morpho's CEO. I'm looking at their Kickstarter right now. I see his
I
videos,
mean,
so good for
David
him.
in the chat is saying he's actually met the guy
Yes,
and
they were
says
at
he's a
Open
nice guy.
Sauce. Yeah,
And honestly, anytime that David says somebody's knife,
you'll get
I
there.
believe them.
Nice.
Yes,
Um,
knife.
yeah, David, if it hasn't been clear to anybody yet, is a phenomenal judge of character, and can pick out the BS well before most others can, because he's been in this industry for a minute. They were at Open Sauce. In fact, they reached out to us to film with them at Open Sauce. We just didn't go to Open Sauce. It was I ran the numbers again, and Open Sauce was going to cost us more money to go to than going to Smurf or going to
Ah,
Form Next. And well, myself to Form Next. If I bring a whole team of people, yes, Form Next costs more expensive. But it's like I get it's like kind of in David's backyard, so I totally understand him going, because like technically David doesn't even have to stay there if he doesn't want to. He can drive back home, or since he has a car, stay 30-40 minutes outside of the event venue, where you're going to pay hopefully half the price for your lodging. But yeah, I've always wanted to go to Open Sauce. It's just not been financially feasible. And the goal is, with all the changes we're doing on the channel, that by Open Sauce next year, we'll be at the point where they notice us and potentially ask us to come out. That would be really cool. I would like to be like a recognized creator there. I think it would be cool, especially if we're going to be doing some really weird stuff, and I'm excited for the really weird stuff that's coming. Um, but yes, Mike C 8101, I think kind of puts it the way that I want it to be put. It's also been great that the competition has forced Yuffie Make and Anchor to lower the cost of their inks.
Yeah, because originally I was going to get a Yuffie make.
Yep.
And then I saw the price of their inks and it put me off. And it was only because, oh, I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but he drilled a hole into the backs of the Yuffie make ink supplies
Oh, to
and
refill them.
manually filled them
Yeah.
with just off the shelf like industrial UV ink, and it worked fine.
Yeah, they generally do.
He was then like, okay, what if when the little chip, the RFID chip inside, says it's run out of liquid, does it stop using it? Apparently, no, it just goes into the negative numbers. So it just kept going through. So that made it more open to me. But again, like it's just the maintenance side is if you're not going to be using it once a week.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah,
and then I just read the Morpho stuff, and I'm like, oh, they're doing different ink by the looks of it. They're doing a different system for their ink supply, so they don't need the cleaning liquid, and they can have it on a shelf for a couple of weeks, without needing any cleaning. And that is more interesting. I'd rather have a more expensive dedicated ink. That means I can shelve it for a month. Like if I go on holiday for 4 weeks, I don't want to have to worry that going on holiday for 4 weeks cost me an extra 900 quid for a print head.
Yeah, that's
the big things.
And like, look, you can flush out the heads, right? So if you know you're going to be going away for a bit, you run cleaning fluid through everything, you flush them out, and it's effective as if it's just sitting there brand new, right?
Yeah.
And Morpho is saying there is no cleaning liquid, there is no moisturizing liquid, and they actually have a web page dedicated to this. So let me.
I've just read
it's a lot of reading.
The entire thing.
Okay.
I've just read the entire thing. The TLDR is they looked at the Epson printer head and realized, why do we have to do all of this stuff? What is the cause of it blocking in the first place? And it turns out it wasn't designed for UV ink. That's the main reason. It was designed for water-based ink, which is a lot easier to clean and maintain.
Yep.
Cool. Good idea. So they looked at the ink itself, going, okay, is it because it's thicker and all of that? And they've done something with the chemical side of that, and they've changed how it deposits. So yeah, it's an interesting change. There's still a question mark that this could just be like Kickstarter puffery, pretending that it doesn't need anything. But if they have made a custom ink, and their ink prices don't seem that bad either, at $22 or $16 per 300 mil.
Okay, I see what they're doing. It's the exact same thing that my big full color 3D printer does, and I don't like it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Morpho's ink system has an automatic maintenance built in. This includes automatic white ink stirring and circulation, just fine. I don't have an issue with that. Scheduled nozzle flashing, print head temperature management, and other maintenance routines performed by the system. As long as the machine stays powered on, the system takes care of the ink path and keeps the white ink active, reducing the risk of settling and clogging. It's just slight. It's going to do...
It's purging.
Yeah, it's going to do very small amounts of purge, which, okay...
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
Well...
Because I'd rather not write off a printer head.
Does that cost less than using cleaning fluid? Does that cost less than the other ways? Now, I'm assuming that Morpho has done the math and said, for them, yes, it is. They're saying first it saves inks, second it saves consumables. We'll have to see. Yeah, it's purging and wiping, which is exactly what the full color machines do. And hilariously, they use HP Black C4810A inkjet heads. HP has completely end of life them. There is no way to get them brand new anymore. You have to buy them refurbished, and it is an absolute crapshoot for those machines. And similarly,
I wonder if they just like found a supply of just tens of thousands of these heads just laying around in like e-waste.
they
And have
found,
refurbed them.
so 3D Systems bought all of the ones that were left, and it was like a container full of them, and they're selling them at like $150 to $200 a head. And when you can get refurbished ones for like $40, a lot of
You
people
buy
are,
the refurbished
a
ones.
lot of people, myself included, are taking the risk on the refurbished ones. Sometimes they fail, and that's just like part of the deal. But similarly to the Epson head, these are not made to run the ink that this full color 3D printer uses. The full color 3D printer, it's a mix of water, sugar, alcohol, and colorant, and it's the sugar that damages the thin film nozzles that you have on these
Yeah.
print heads. It wallers it out. Once you waller it out a little bit, you lose definition. It starts to heat up because it can't fully close with capillary action. And at that point, it overheats and it fails your print. And there is no way to recover a failed print unless you have pre-purged, pre-cleaned heads ready to go because, oh yeah, they're all black. One of your colors is clear. I'd like to tell you how much ink that takes to purge all the black ink out and put clear ink in and not have a
I'm
drop
assuming
of
the
black.
entire bloody bottle.
It takes a lot, and the ink from 3D Systems at the time was like 28 cents a milliliter on average. We reverse engineered their ink and made it ourselves for less than a nickel a milliliter. So I don't care if I have to purge all my print heads when they come in. My ink costs me basically nothing comparatively. And when I look at these UV printers, it reminds me of the days of those 3D Systems machines and having to like, oh, hey, your machine says you're out of clear binder. And oh, yeah, 3D Systems has a 3-month backlog. Well, I guess your machine's going to sit for 3 months until you can get that ink in now, isn't it? And so when it comes back in stock, you panic buy, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you heard, one of those key components is alcohol. And alcohol over time will evaporate, which now means your ink starts to get brighter, I guess is the right way. No, it's not. It's not that it gets more viscous. It gets slightly more viscous, but
I mean, I guess like the pigment becomes denser.
The pigment becomes denser, so your colors get less accurate the longer the ink has been sitting. And so the only way to do that safely, and it's what we ended up, okay, it wasn't the only way, but it was the fun way, is we put it in IV bags.
Ah. That makes sense.
Yep, because they're non-permeable. And literally the bottles had they had a little nozzle on them. And it was funny because like you would think they're DRM controlled. The DRM was so funny. It was a plastic tab that was pulled out, and that's what allowed it to go in. And there was 4 tabs, and depending on what color it was which tab was broken off. So it really didn't matter. So we would tap into their nozzle that would feed down into the machine itself, and we would use the IV bag to feed the ink cartridge and then feed the machine. It was a good idea, and it still works to this day quite well. But yeah, a lot of people are moving away from those machines just because it's, with the print head cost, it's obtusely expensive. And
yeah.
Dude, these how big is the Morpho's build volume?
The Morpho, I believe it's A3 or A3 equivalent.
I have no idea what that means.
I'm going right down to the bottom to find it. It's right here.
I'm also looking for Z.
Space. It's 13 inches by 9 inches by 6 3/4.
Oh, that's
look at me
big...
doing American sizing.
Well, you can give
it's 330 mil by 220 mil by 168 mil.
Wait, so can it actually print full, like a full color figurine? I don't know if it can. That would be mad. I mean, that's a huge build volume.
They said it can only do 88 centimeters tall.
I mean,
That's the thing. It's like I don't get why they wouldn't be able to do full figurines.
But that's fine. 8 centimeters
because
is actually
the print
fine.
head.
You lay him
I mean,
down.
it's Warhammer scale. That's
No,
pretty big.
You
That's
lay him
like that
down.
big. I mean, yeah, you could do that as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you always do. Even in the powder machines, we lay him down, right?
I guess the reason they're saying they can't do full figurines and stuff is they don't have like a support material.
Oh, do they not?
Well, there's a bit of an open question because what I learned on the X Tools website with the Omni 01 is the options they have is the regular printer, a regular printer with 2 heads, but the choice of those 2 heads is you either get UV ink or you get DTF flexible inks, but they're not interchangeable, which I don't understand why, because they're the exact same head. Can't you just put another cartridge in, flush it through, and you'll be fine? But no, apparently not.
You have to buy extra heads.
For the X tool,
Okay.
yes, you have to swap the head with one, because of all of the basic ones, there was a nice little diagram somewhere that said it. Yeah, so they've got the single UV edition, which is entry-level makers for rigid material personalization. Then you've got the dual head edition, which comes with exclusive neon effects, or the UV Plus direct to fabric edition, which is the exact same printer head again. They're all the same printer. They're the F1080s.
Oh, okay. The X Tool's the F1080. All right.
Yeah, the X Tool is all F1080s. And that's where I don't understand it is, if you get the dual head edition, what's the difference between the dual head and the UV Plus DT fabric edition? Because they're the same bed size, they're the same heads.
Yeah.
They're just different inks. Like they're like packaging a direct to garment platter where you can put your shirts directly in it.
Yeah. Well, DT fabric, that's get. DT. Oh, okay. So it is a DTG platen. Look, and we can talk about this
because in their specifications they say the fabric version cannot print fluorescent colors. But why can't I just take the cartridges out and put fluorescent ink in if I'm not doing that job?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it. But
yeah, you're right. Everything else is basically the same.
Yeah, and the thing I noticed was, if there is a difference, meaning one head can't do the multiple things, and Morpho is advertising that they have a direct to roll, direct to fabric system, but stickers are flexible. How are you printing a rigid UV on a flexible sticker thing?
That I don't know. I simply don't know. And it could be the i3200 versus the F1080 print heads that give them more flexibility. And that, they have 8 color channels rather than rather than just the 6.
I'm an idiot. They've said this in their special launch price for the inks.
Mm-hmm.
CMYK, there's only CMYK. Rigid and flexible white ink is at a different price, meaning you can buy flexible white ink on its own. So yeah, it looks like you can just plonk it in, and then they've got the varnish ink as well.
Dude, this ink's expensive.
Yeah.
And the launch price, CMYK ink 130 milliliters is $13.99, which puts it at 10.8 cents per milliliter, but the MSRP is almost
basically $100 per liter.
Right, but the MSRP
it's $100 per liter on sale.
Right,
$200 per liter if it's not on sale.
And so you have to look at, okay, since you're not doing a tank system for your flushing and your cleaning, does this pay off? Again, if you are using the machine often enough, it doesn't matter, right? The purging won't matter.
Yeah.
But the 3D Systems machine would purge every 8 hours. So you have to leave them on. They would purge every 8 hours, and it would purge 5 milliliters per print head every 8 hours.
That's quite a lot.
At 28 cents a milliliter, but it's a buck 25 per color. CMYKW. 5 colors. So you're at like basically $7, right? Call it $7 every 8 hours of just idle consumption cost.
Yeah. Now, here is something interesting about the Morpho, and I'm interested in it more because of this. They say it's an open ecosystem.
Yep.
Open by design.
Which I like.
And the cartridges are refillable.
Yep. Heygears is the same way. At least that I'm aware of. But Heygears has the water-soluble supports.
Yeah.
Which means...
And the Heygears does look pretty good.
So here's the thing that you should know if you're looking at a UV printer for your business, and you're saying, well, hey, I can start doing figurines. The areas where the water-soluble support touches your part will have a different texture and a different color profile than anywhere else on the model. So what we do in the polyjet printing industry, and look, there are people that don't do this because they do excessive post-processing and all that, but when you're just starting out, you cover the entire model in support. Even if it doesn't need it, you cover the entire thing in support. And that support material ensures that your color is consistent, that your the shine, the sheen, the shimmer is consistent. And you have to do less post-processing. So something to note that you might say, oh, well, I only need support on the bottom. Technically, that is accurate. However, you will see a difference in the quality of the part from front to back. And if you're going to be selling figurines, you can't have that.
It's important for no difference.
Yeah, you can't have
for
that.
miniature enjoyers, difference is death. It needs to be uniform.
I don't know it. So I don't think a $3,300 machine is like, oh, I'm a casual Warhammer gamer and I just want to make figurines. I think this, at $3,300, this is not a...
No, this is one-offs for big jobs. Like, you're not going to print your Warhammer army in this, and if you do, you're absolutely insane and hats off to you. But just buy a regular resin printer and paint them like the rest of us plebeians with our hands. Like, that's half the fun, is struggling to paint. Yeah.
And so... Lorianne Brown said that they backed the Heygears G1X 3D, so that's the $3,300 one.
Yep.
And they said, but the ink tanks are modular, so you just pull out the entire thing and swap it. Clever way to do it. And I agree, right? So they're saying you don't have to purge out the ink tank. All you gotta do is purge out the line. Which, like, okay, if you're gonna do purging, don't make me clean out the tank. Let me put a different tank in there. Yep. And I would almost guarantee that all of these companies are going to have inks that you can easily bypass. So if you wanted to run your own, you could, but you need to understand...
I mean, the Morpho's already said you can bypass it. In their Kickstarter, it says you can use third-party inks already.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is what the cost difference is between the third-party inks and their maintenance cycles. Because if the Morpho is designed around their specialty ink, not needing a maintenance cycle because they're purging, and then you switch to a third-party ink,
and it needs...
Are you going to suddenly ruin the printer because you're using no cleaning liquid? Or did they just realize, yeah, we could just use regular ink, and as long as we purge 5 mil every 8 hours, nobody cares? And then does it really matter at that point? Because if you're using third-party inks and you're purging a lot, I'm assuming third-party inks are going to be maybe $15 to $20 per liter instead of $200 per liter. I can't see it being more than that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's the... That's and again, the deal.
Like the Heygears it has DTF printing. And it has water-based inks.
And their material cost is $23.40 per liter, which
that's really good.
Seems very cheap. Like
it's 10 times less.
Yeah, 10 times less than anybody else. third-party ink compatible, 3200 high-density nozzles, which is normal, right? I would still call this a polyjet printer. I understand that most companies don't, but I would call this a polyjet printer. And I love how
it prints in 3D.
They're
This
comparing
is a
it.
mini Stratasys printer.
Well, so they're comparing it directly to Mimaki. Mimaki. They taught
Mimaki.
me how to do it. It's Mimaki. And I like the Heygears. I would like to try it myself, obviously, right? I want to try it myself. They've got an AI ecosystem. I don't care. That
Boo.
doesn't matter to me. Well, okay, look, we can boo hiss this all day, right? And we can say that we don't like it.
In fairness, I know tons of people who use it because it is an enabler.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't like it because I'm a traditional artist and it's taking my job.
Right.
Says the person who's also now using it to do my job. So,
Look,
pot, kettle, black.
right.
I can't argue about it. I use it.
Like, I would like to see more about these machines. Like, Heygears has the
God.
white
Wait,
agitating.
Wait.
What?
Rosie's making popcorn.
Okay.
I swear, if she's not going to share that popcorn with me, because it's the last bag of popcorn.
Also, there was a great joke in the comments from last episode, and we really missed it. The reason they stole your Pepsi and they threw it out when they got rid of it is because they were looking for Coke. And I'm upset with how good of a joke that is, and I'm upset that none of us thought of that they stole your Pepsi, but then they got rid of it because they thought it was Coke. That is such a good crackhead joke, and I am thoroughly upset about this. So, all right. Okay.
I'm getting torn because I will probably buy one. I just said on stream I'm going to be so annoyed if you're making popcorn and not going to share any. I have some popcorn.
So, Heygears, a little bit cheeky in their inks. You have to scroll down quite a bit. The 3D UV resin is your $23 a liter. The color is $27.25. Transparent is $35, and support is $23. The UV ink is your white is $23 for a 300 milliliter bottle. So you're tripling, little over triple. Color is $27.25 and glossy is $35. And the aqueous ink,
is that per liter?
That's per 300 milliliters. So you have to triple it. That's still, I think, roughly where everybody else is. But again,
can you use third-party material? Because I wouldn't be comfortable buying a piece of equipment that has to purge material if that is $200 per liter.
It depends on how much it needs to purge. So if your lines, let's say your lines hold 10 milliliters, right? And you have to purge the lines when you switch between A and B, right? Just work with me here. So you're purging 10 milliliters at, call it $75 per liter. You're at less than $1 of purge material. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
I do care because it depends on how often you have to purge it.
Fair.
Also, Lorian Brown in the chat says Heygears did say you could use other inks.
Yes, and you can.
Now I'm more interested.
So I think Heygears is going to have the same kind of thing that Morpho does, where it's like you can use third-party inks, but if it damages your multi-$1,000 print head, that's on you, fam. That's not on us. And fair. I'm not going to disagree with that.
And I'm going to buy one load of their original inks and then only buy third-party inks and say it was an original if something went wrong. Because they cannot tell otherwise.
I will not be saying that because that would be advocating for fraud. And we don't do that.
It is, it is not fraud. It is on the ownership of the company to determine that.
Not in the US. Mad Max sent 10 gifted memberships.
Also, in the EU, a warranty also has to cover anything you say. So if they say it accepts third-party inks, the
That has to
warranty
cover
does
that.
cover third-party inks as well.
Fancy. So the G1
Yeah,
series
you know those
has
little warranty void stickers that you guys love to put on every computer component so you don't like open a screw or something? Like you've seen them like on GPUs, like if you get a
yes,
screwdriver, it's like they're not legal.
they're not here either. The Magnuson Moss Warranty Act covers that. So we don't have to worry about that too much here in the States, but it's still a scare tactic. So the Heygears can also do DTF. Now I don't know if they're saying that's direct to film or direct to fabric.
It'll be direct to film.
Yeah, DTF
DTG is direct to
garment. Yeah, but I mean, we saw it on Xtool called direct to fabric as well. So Xtool does both. So we've been through this whole thing of DTG versus DTF, and I spent well over $1,000 on t-shirts for our merch store to figure out, like, one, who do we want to work with, two, DTG versus DTF, and then ordering enough shirts from each company at different intervals to make sure that like the quality was consistent. It was a pain in the ass, and I will say we ended up opting for direct to film. It's the one that feels more plasticky, where like the shirt you're wearing,
less breathable.
The shirt you're wearing is DTG. It's direct to garment. I remember it because we got them in China.
Yeah, this is DTG.
Yeah, we got
them in China. These are amazing. I like these because they're breathable.
Though that one might specifically be sublimation because it's a white shirt, and dye sub doesn't wear out the same way that like DTG does. So DTG.
Well, no, there's definitely a texture to it. There's like this slightly silicony texture to it, which does make me think it's DTG instead of sublimation.
I'm not an expert in these techs. I just know dye sub is the best, but it's only good for like white shirts and gray.
Yeah.
And your boy sweats too much for that. That's why you almost never see me in colors other than black on the channel.
Also, apparently, for any DTG printing, you need to have treated fabric beforehand. Otherwise, the white doesn't stay white; it turns gray.
Yeah,
as it's absorbed by the fabric.
You just buy shirts that are designed for it. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
And I would assume that if you want specific shirts for that, the companies would sell it to you. But yeah, we ended up on DTF because while it does have that plasticky feel, it's non-breathable in the areas that it's printed. The longevity of the printing is miles more than DTG.
But the downside is you do need to heat press them right.
Yes, and
you need another thing.
That's okay. Heat presses are super cheap. Vevor makes one for like under $200 US, right? Xtool, I'm sure, will sell you one. I'm sure at some point Heygears will sell you one. I'm sure Morpho will sell you one at some point too. The cheap one that Vevor sells for like sub $200 will work just fine. And in fact, what we're doing right now is we're using, and big thanks to Fabrico actually, put us onto this company, DTF Ninja. They literally will just do the film print and then mail that to you. And then cool. You put it onto whatever clothing you want, right? So you're not paying the premium on the garment itself. And that's what we're going to be doing for our like our merch testing. We're going to be doing it that way.
Yeah.
So, because we have some new designs coming out. There are some really fun ones that I'm actually like heavily excited for. But yeah. I'm excited for the new ones, the new designs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But no, like I'm just confused with what UV printer to go with because they all seem really good. They do really seem good.
Well, so I'm always concerned about these these multi-process machines, right? Because like historically we've always said one machine one function. If you try to do more than one function, it can sometimes just kind of suck at everything. And look, I love new age Snapmaker, but old age Snapmaker like the A350T, it sucked at everything. It was a bad 3D printer, it was a bad CNC mill, and it was a bad laser. It was not good at any of them. Now, Snapmaker has, of course, shifted course, and the U1, still in my opinion, is
amazing,
the best value multi-tool head machine on the market, bar none right now. You know, and it is a phenomenal machine, but it's also only doing one thing, right? It's only doing one thing. It is 3D printing. And so these multi-process machines worry me ever so slightly that they're trying to give you added functionality and added value, but at the same time, you're potentially sacrificing usability for single purpose operation.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I feel like with these printers, these are the first ones where it makes sense that they're multifunction because traditional industry is hyper specialized.
Yeah.
When in reality, the same heads do kind of the same things. Like direct to fabric is just you UV print on a piece of paper. Direct to garment is you UV print on a bit of fabric. UV printing is you just UV print in general. Like they're all the same inks on the same heads in the same system, and they're like, it's 4-in-1. It's like, yeah, but it's like my screwdriver was a 600-in-1 because I decided to open a paint can with it once.
Right. And that's where, like, okay, are these actual multi-process machines, or are they looking at other things they can do and just adding it into their software, right?
Yeah.
And like those are the things that you have to kind of look out for and say, okay, this is what starts to make sense. I love how on Heygears they are clearly calling out Xtool and Eufy Make. They're saying other flatbed UV printers, you know, and they're saying, yep, we're better on our DPI. Our printhead lifespan is 12 to 24 months. I don't think I've seen...
Which is a long time.
I don't think I've seen the cost of the printheads if you need to replace them yet.
Is this the Morpho?
Heygears. It's the i3200. I don't know what the i3200 costs. But that is always something you have to look at. And we've talked about this before, but I think it bears... I think it bears mention right now. If you are looking at one of these machines, I would not be looking at the initial purchase price. I understand the initial purchase price is something that might be a difficult thing, right? It might be a problem. However, I'd be much more...
1.3 grand for the i3200.
Okay, $1,300. So I would be much more concerned about long-term cost of ownership of the machine. That's what I would be... that's what I would be focused on, is long-term cost of ownership, right? What do the inks cost? What does a replacement printhead cost? And $1,300 for a printhead for a $5,000 machine is getting very close to the number where it's just not worth fixing. Now, if it is very easy to replace it and it doesn't require a bunch of like calibration and all of that, great. Then it's much easier. If it is at the point of like replacing the screen on a resin printer, which depending on how bad the failure has gotten, that could be a monumental pain in the ass. This might not be a good machine long term. That's the kind of thing that I worry about and I care about. I care about long-term cost of ownership.
Then it flips over to like, what would you do with it? Because you're not buying this as a hobby.
No.
Like, unless you're flush with cash, at which point you don't care what the price is. This is supposedly a moneymaker. All of these Kickstarters have, you could print this thing and sell it.
Yep.
And I think that's the right move.
Yep.
Because this is a pseudo-industrial machine. Like, yeah, it fits on your desk and everything, but the previous machines, like the Polyjets, they set you back tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
And they're not that good. I have used a couple of them. Stratasys.
They can be. They can be. The new J
the new
series
one,
is very
the new
good.
spinning one,
Oh,
great.
the J55. Yeah, that's a J55.
Yeah.
I have an old Objet. I have an Objet 30 Alaris. And it's been end of life for a couple of years now, and it is due for an autopsy. We're going to fully autopsy it live. I need to just
the one that I used was at Work Manufacturing Group, and they kept it maintained in a pristine condition.
Yep.
And the quality of the parts that came out were just not that good.
The quality of parts on the Objet is incredible. Like you're hitting certifiable 5-micron precision.
Oh yeah, this wasn't.
Now,
this was rounded corners, that weird puffy glossiness.
Oh, then
it was just a bad. They maintained it very well.
I don't think they did.
Well, to their own admission, they said like every time they've asked for a service engineer to come out, they just never came out. So they were having to repair it themselves.
That is the problem with the bigger companies.
Stratasys,
yeah,
they're not a big spender. They're a university. They have 2 of these machines. They do use it quite regularly, and they do jobs with it for industry. And the jobs they do don't show the faults. They're like cup designs and these bigger things where you're not looking at this. But I had a QR code in my pro brackets, and they broke a pro bracket, and they wanted to print a replacement because like, hey, we've got this £250,000 polyjet, might as well use it, and it couldn't do a QR code, and it was just all this weird puffiness, and it just wasn't that good. And then like the Heygears, the Morpho, they come out and like, yeah, this is better. This does the same job as that machine. Yeah, the build volume is smaller because they could do A2 sized parts.
Yeah. On
that machine. But in reality, how often are you printing A2 sized polyjet parts?
Right. And that's the thing, right? Mine was not multicolor. It was black and gray, right? So it had a clear and it had black, so it could mix.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I'm pissed off at is like, I can't buy parts for it anymore. I would still run that machine if I could buy parts for it. Because like there are value. Now, does consumer grade resin printing get very close to it? Yes, it does. Is it as nice to use? It's much nicer than consumer grade resin.
Yeah.
Like it's much safer. It's much faster. It doesn't smell as terrible. But I do think it bears mention as well that yes, Heygears also has the business, side on their Kickstarter. They've got, the custom phone case. They're saying that the retail price is going to be $25, and
I think that's a bit high, but I also see it as legitimate.
Well, so they're saying you're buying a blank phone case, and then you're putting 7 cents worth of ink on it, and you're able to make $23 a profit. I don't necessarily know about that. I can certainly see like, hey, bring us like, dude, I would definitely, instead of stickers on the back of my
100%.
phone, I would say, hey, here's my phone case. Let me take it off my phone, put the cat stuff on. I can see that.
You can make an entire business going to other businesses and being like, hey, your company phones, I can give you company branded phone cases.
Yep.
All of them are branded. Or I just got my new iPhone, and like it looks great, but it also looks a bit bland. Like there's nothing
boring
to it.
Yeah.
And I'd want like Construct 3D somewhere, or like maybe some artwork, or just I would hire a custom artist to make something to make the backs look good if I had a way to get it printed. And I would do that.
They go on to like a textured leather book cover, retails price of $45. Your overall cost is like, $8.78 worth of ink, and they're saying the blank item is $3.30. Maybe in volume. I don't think in onesie twosies you're going to be able to get a blank item for that much, for that cheap. And I think $45 for a textured leather book cover is going to be on the high side. And like they have this.
I actually think that's one of the more realistic ones there.
Okay. All right. Fine.
because you're not. They can't use brands in their marketing.
Hmm.
Like, it would be like business suicide. But imagine you've got a manga, and
Okay.
they printed a book, and you then print a custom one-off, like, artistic rendition of it.
Yeah.
I could imagine people doing that. Like, imagine if you bought the Discworld franchise of books in the hardcover copies that they do, but the hardcovers aren't that good. They're just like foil stamped.
Hmm.
Now you print on that and give that to a collector that loves Discworld, they would pay through the nose for that level.
It's not
of,
officially licensed.
This is my
though.
custom thing, and that's why they can't show it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because there's the difference between I'm a sole trader, and
Right.
this is how you get around it for anyone watching. If you want to print licensed media without buying the licenses, this is completely legitimate and above board, is you don't do it. You become a tool. You get rented to do whatever the customer says.
Oh yeah,
your price
it's the
point.
FedEx Kinko's
And if
model.
they say go
Yeah.
do this, then it's not your problem. They gave you the
Yep,
thing.
you're
It's
just following
their
directions.
liability.
Yeah, it's the same thing that like every print on demand service does. The
Yep.
only time where we're like, yeah, is when it's the mouse, because we're so close to the mouse.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, pissing off Disney is a bad idea, even though everybody does it. And
We
again,
don't.
I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice.
we
Please
don't-
don't come
we
see
don't
me
touch
afterwards.
Disney.
I love you, Americans, but you guys scare me.
Yep. Yeah, and that's fair. That's valid. The chameleon though.
I think the big one for me is the shirts. I like the shirt printing because you can do a lot with that, and then you can do smaller objects and marking anything, like custom laptop backs.
Yeah.
Like, take a laptop, put the laptop in, amazing. Now, I'm not sure if any of these fit bigger laptops. I know there was one, but it's a laser unit that has like a roller bed. That means you could put bigger things in and it rolls it across. But I don't know if
how
any
big
of
of a
these have
laptop
that.
are you talking? Like, the G1X is like 14 inches wide, like or 400 millimeters wide. Like, that fits most laptops, dude.
Nah, most laptops are 15-inch.
400 millimeters,
ones are
isn't that
17s.
16?
I don't know. I know the Morpho, because they actually did their sizes in inches, is 13 inches tall by 9 inches wide, which isn't that big. Not that big. And yes, like, computers use diagonal inches and not orthogonal inches.
Open flatbed on the G1X, 420 by 330 by 130 millimeter. If you enclose it, so you shut the doors, it's 130 by 330 by 150.
That's pretty good, actually.
So like 420, you might not get full.
The bigger laptops, but you might get the medium laptops. Or somehow do them in halves.
That's 16
like,
and a half
half
inches. I mean, that's pretty respectable, I would think.
And I could see a load of money being made that way.
Yeah.
I just want to mark all my stuff. I just want to have custom stuff for everything. Because I'm going on a complete tangent for this now, but this is what I believe a lot of the future is going to become. Yeah. So we've got AI, where it's a personalized programmer in your pocket.
Right.
And it's a personalized artist in your pocket.
Right.
And now we have all of these print-on-demand services, and now UV printing on demand. And we've got to this world where customizability is now becoming a commodity. Previously, it was you got what was injection molded the entire time, at all times. It is the same thing. You buy it off a shelf, be happy with it. But for a savvy maker, where they've got one 3D printer, one UV printer, and one laser etcher, everything in their house could be their personal aesthetic.
Right.
And I see that kind of like 3D printed shoes. Like, this is something like, I hope David's still here to hear this. I love his shoes because they give you the opportunity to have a custom thing. Like, I don't buy J's. I don't buy the expensive shoes. I don't have the money for it. mostly because they're way overpriced for what they are. But if I could find a nice set of shoes that was royal purple and white to go with my white and purple aesthetic that most of my life is now like solidified around,
Right.
I would do that. And if I can buy a blank knife and put it under a Mopa laser and Mopa laser it so it has my custom artwork in every knife, I'm gonna do that. And I could go to the extremes. And then with a UV printer, now I can make any custom artwork on any piece of my body.
Yeah, there's a pretty strong business case here. I mean, so Heygears also has this chameleon model. It's, call it 200 millimeters by 110 by 77. Good size, right? They're
Good
saying
size, I don't like the model.
Fine, whatever.
Because why? Why would you do it? It's so expensive.
I'm looking at not for chameleons. I'm looking for people, right? You need a base. You need like not even a great 3D scanner, right? You don't.
Yeah.
You need one that captures good color, and hell, you could even use like
photogrammetry.
Yeah, you could use Artec Studio Lite. Do it with a friggin' cell phone. Take the pictures, take the video, whatever, and turn that into a 3D model and print it. I don't know how long it will take. The time starts to become a problem. But they're saying a model that large, which is going to have support everywhere, is 926.81 milliliters of resin at a resin cost of $23.17. At the current price of the resin, I assume that could double at an 8-inch models. 200 millimeters is 8 inches.
Yeah.
When we were doing people back before the human malware, right? Yeah, for an 8-inch, we were charging $250. And we were getting that all day.
Not a lot of margin.
What? That's a ton of margin.
That's not a lot of margin. Well, no, because if it's $60 for the chameleon model, on the discount, that's $120 to make the model.
It's $23 in cost.
Oh, I'm reading the profit per unit.
Yeah. The profit per unit's kind of weird.
I take that back. That's a great margin.
Yeah, the margin's actually pretty good. The thing will come down to like how fast can it do it? How many models can you fit in there at once? I would think that you could easily get away with having a business scanning and printing people. Also, cosplayers, right? That was a huge market, was the cosplayer stuff.
Do you want to know my stupid idea I had? So I have a couple of friends that go on the school run with me, and they're always talking about how nice their nails have been done at the salon and everything. And I'm just there like,
no.
How hard would it be for me to
Dangerous.
make a mold to put your hand
Don't do that.
in the UV printer
No.
and print directly on your nails?
Don't. I'm sure people will do it. We will not recommend that you do that just because of...
Did you know what I found out? I found out if you go to the nail salon, what they build the nails up with is raw PPMA resin.
Yes.
I think that's a lot more dangerous. PPMA is, when I use it, I wear level 3 chemical protection gloves. Like, mine come in double sealed thermoses because PPMA is the DNA blender chemical.
The problem...
And they're putting it on their nails and they're inhaling it.
Look, people are going to obviously do it. I think they're going to do it. I don't think it's a good idea. You have to deal with people's hands moving, so you'd have to have a way to, like, properly secure it.
Make them a wedge so their hands can't move.
Like,
but it's a small area. Like, it should be able to do, like, 2 passes for the entire color.
I don't know.
Because the width is, like, 2 centimeters wide is the color banding.
Do what Spectra V3i says. Just do it on the stick-on nails.
No, because they fall off. They fall off.
More CA
You want to print directly on the nails so they never come off.
I do think, though, that printing people is a decent business model. The full color sandstone machines had, at that price point, it was, you were doubling your money. So if you were selling it at $250, your cost to produce it was like $95 to $125. It would depend on how densely packed your your
Yep.
build was. The more densely packed your build was, the better profit margin you can make, because it needs to purge every few layers, and that doesn't matter if it's one model or if it's 500 models, right? So the thing there is, it's all about density. For this, I assume it's going to be similar, right? It's going to have to like clean and do a purge cycle every X amount of layers. So if you can fit, say, 30 3 to 4 inch tall people in that, that will cost you less, because your purging is now amortized out across the value of the other machines.
And I'm just going to say, like, taking 3D models of people is the easiest it's ever been.
Yes,
because
it's
you
very
need
easy.
2, maybe 3 photos at most.
Get more. Honestly, with
No, because you're doing this on the cheap, and you're going to make them small, so detail doesn't matter that much. You take 2 or 3 photos,
you can
so
get great detail
2 at
with these.
angles, 1 from behind, and then you just take it to photo to 3D AI, because they've done that for scene estimation for the filming industry.
How big do you think this is?
I mean, 2 inches by 2 inches?
A little bit under. 48 millimeters. 48 millimeters XY. The detail on this,
I mean, the detail on that is insane.
It's incredible. And this is on the Eufy make. This is on the machine with the F1080, right? You're looking at these machines with the i3200s able to do, 4x this.
Well, so that's the thing, is you don't need the model to be high quality, you need the texture to be high quality.
Sure.
And it can get the texture from the photo, and the model can be AI generated.
You can have, so I'm a big proponent of Artec Studio Lite. And I really should show the difference one day between like what a $35,000 3D scanner did in 30 minutes versus what I did literally with a $300 camera. You could have easily used a cell phone, but walked around this crash car, took a whack load of photos, and dude, I mean, it's funny. So the model
has gone really good.
Well, the model that we're going to use on our website to show off is likely going to be the one out of photos, because it's a much less dense model. But what Artec Studio Lite, I mean, we saw it in China, right? When we went to visit Artec, you saw that live for the first time, and like,
yeah, that was great.
Its capabilities are incredible, and at $50 a month, I really don't think that there's another software out there that gets even remotely close. Like, Polycam can kind of get close, but I think Artec Studio Lite is just better. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to work with companies that do this. Since I have a full version of Artec Studio, I'm looking to charge to do the photogrammetry stuff. I don't know what yet. Like if you're just starting out as a business and you want to try some out, maybe 10, 15 bucks each. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But something so you can like get a feel of what the software produces. You can literally feed it a video. You don't have to feed it photos. You can feed it a video. And that
So I'd still recommend photos, because you don't want the motion blur of
photos will be better. But you take that, you add in, say, 3 of any of these full color 3D UV printers, and you've got a pretty damn good business, right? And your entire all-in cost is less than 10 grand right now on Kickstarter. Say it's going to be closer to 15. And you can start with one machine, but I think for a business, it's not very safe to do that. It's the first time you clog a nozzle, you're screwed. So that needs to be fixed and adjusted. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think there's a business case, but I think it's very, very niche. Like, if you live in BFE out in the middle of nowhere, being the person that goes out to the convention, scans and prints people in cosplay doesn't make any sense. If you happen to be near Atlanta and you go to Dragon Con, well, that makes a lot of sense. If you have to fly in, it doesn't make sense anymore, because all the gear that you have to travel with. But if you can drive over there, it's a pretty decent business model, right?
Yep.
And yes, Streams Void, I see 137 watching, only 44 likes. Please make sure that you like the video, subscribe if you haven't.
Come on,
Follow
guys.
along if you are, if you're listening back audio only or watching us over on Spotify, since that's a thing now as well. Leave a rating on it. Let us know what you think. And soon, TM, we're moving Spotify over to the edited episodes only. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I think we're less than 10 episodes away now. Actually, I know we're less than 10 away now. But yeah, I think that there's a really good business model. And when you add in DTF or DTG, when you add in the ability to create merch, and you can do it relatively slowly, right? I think that's a pretty good value.
Yeah, and it's what makes it more difficult for me, because I just see so many opportunities, both from like using it for myself. Like, one of the first things I'll be doing is I'm going to be printing on my cameras. Like, I'm going to put lenses into the rotary tools. And I'm going to be printing on the sides of the lenses, because A, nobody can steal it anymore. It's got my markings UV printed directly onto it. But B, like, especially like the older, like pre-loved, let's call them, like Soviet era, or like rebuilding of Germany era, that type of time, where the lenses were really good, and I still love them. I need to go to the local camera shop to pick up some more of those lenses, because they are quite fun. But the markings have worn out, so I can reprint the markings back onto the lenses, giving them a new lease of life. Or I could just make things look pretty, and boy, am I going to find a way to make things look pretty, because if I can 3D print a belt to put things on so it can just constantly go through this machine, I'm going to put car parts through it. Like, I'm going to put like a long like bumper strip and just put it all the way through, and I'm going to do tons of stupid things. I'll put a sword through it. I will, actually, that's a great idea. I should not have thought about that, because now it's getting my swordism going. But I could put the entire sword blade and print directly on it. Nobody else is going to have that, like, ability. Like, I will be the coolest person in the sword fighting room. Like, everyone's going to like, oh, look at me, I've got my broadsword. Oh, look at me, I've got my longsword. And then, oh, look at me, I've got the Throngler. Don't look too closely at the pictures, you'll distract you. But like, that sort of stuff could be hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's just personally. Like, and the moment you go out with this sort of stuff, people will want that doing for them.
Yeah, I look at, like, I'm in the South, so, you know, the firearms industry is kind of an obvious one. Like, you know, printing onto PMags. Yes. You can laser onto PMags too, but like printing onto PMags, doing custom.
If I could print on my P90 instead of having to do like my manual etch and spray jobs.
A PMag is what you put into an AR. If it's into an AR platform, not
yeah,
a
but I'm saying, like, I have a golden P90.
Right.
And I paint. I don't like snakeskin camo, where everyone just like throw a bunch of shit on it with some tan colors and it'll be fine. But I wanted a P90 because I already had one. I have a nice black one. And I wanted another because I wanted to dual wield them, because it's always faster to switch to your secondary than it is keeping on your primary. And you know what's better than one primary? Two primaries when they're the size of a secondary. But I wanted it to be special because I'm already going kind of like deep into the rabbit hole, and I wanted a gold one.
So you wanted something special.
I took the body off. I sprayed it gold with like Warhammer gold, and I painted these like lovely red pink lotus flowers along it. So it looks honestly good, but it's still paint, so it does get damaged a bit easy, and it doesn't look right. If I could just UV directly on to a frame,
well, so Mark Burton,
I'd be happy.
Mark Burton is saying it will chip off though on use, and yes, but I also don't think that, like, if you're going to go through the effort of getting something custom made for the firearm side of things, you're not gonna like be EDCing it. You're not gonna like, you're unlikely to UV print on your everyday carry. It's going to be something that you have for a display or something for, for
Oh,
fun,
I'd
for
100% do that.
for the guys, right?
No, I'm gonna EDC the most obnoxious shit you've ever seen. You're gonna get the Uwu Uzi from me.
Sure. You do you. I'm not here to tell people what to do, but I do think that there's a lot of value when you can print on anything, right? And when you're able to quickly do DTF, obviously you need a heat press, but that's no big deal. You can quickly hit trends, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Jimothy is a thing right now. I first saw it in our
Look,
Discord.
I'm not with the kids.
Google,
I don't know what that is.
If you Google Jimothy, there's a whole thing where it runs across the street.
I'm still keeping up to date with the bricks and minifigs case because that shit's hilarious.
All I'm saying is, we already had someone UV print Jimothy onto a glass.
Oh, that's what the raccoon is.
Yes,
Jimothy.
Yes, the raccoon is Jimothy.
I only know about this because the guys at D&D Wizard of the Coast or Baldur's Gate have officially said that. It's Pathfinder. They've officially said it's a cryptid.
He's canon in the series now. I think that kind of stuff is you can batch, so you can make one shirt, put it up on Etsy, right? Take the photos of it, and you make them as they sell, right?
Yep.
And you can probably print a DTF in, even if it's half an hour. It shouldn't take that long. But let's say it does. Let's say it takes a half hour to do one shirt. The machine's just doing its thing. And as soon as Jimothy becomes no longer something that people care about in a week,
stop printing.
You stop printing and you're left with no inventory, or you're left with maybe one shirt that goes into your I'll wear this out in public shirt, and you end up making small little versions with your logo on it. So the ones that get stuck where you can't sell them and they're not selling, so you end up wearing it. DTF your own logo onto it and move on, right?
I'm not going to say I've gone out into public with a full Ainsley Harriott t-shirt on before, which is just Ainsley Harriott's face. And Dan, if you're watching, I need that shirt back. I lent it to you on a meme, but I want that shirt back. That's not for you to keep. That's my shirt. It's too funny for you to keep. But no, what I see as a really good thing as well is it's artists, but not in the same way that digital art is easily shareable. It's in the same way that displate is art. Because you can make your own displates now.
You can absolutely make your own displate. Now,
just get an aluminium sheet or a steel sheet.
Use steel.
Because they're dirt cheap.
Yeah, use galvanized
steel.
And
then print directly onto it. And now you've got a custom display. And you could do it for half the price of what Displate's doing because Displate's overpriced.
I'm not certain you can do it. What do Displates cost?
It's so expensive. They're like $40 for an A4.
I think you're gonna spend close to that on ink, plus the metal. I don't think...
No, metal is the cheapest thing on the planet.
Depends.
Okay, gaming designs. I'm going on to game design. It's all AI generated bullshit.
Yeah, their bestsellers are AI generated. Oh my god, it's all AI generated.
Okay, but I'm picking one of them. It's going to be matte, so there's no gloss on it. It's going to be 17 inches by 12 inches, which fits in the all of the printers. £40, so $55, not including shipping.
Yeah, I see that.
That's profit, because you're gonna do what? $5 in ink? $1 in metal?
I don't know. And so they've got these that are also called Textra, I think is what they're calling it.
Oh yeah, they're the one with the 3D embossing. This wasn't even without the 3D emboss.
That is UV printing, right? There's no way they're not UV printing with that. And, I'm looking at a officially licensed Ultramarine Battle Brother. Beautiful, looks good. It's officially licensed. So if it's AI Slop, blame Games Workshop. The medium, which is 17.7 by 12.6 inches, with Textra, $70 US, where the matte, which is not with that is $50 US. So could you compete with display? Sure, you
Yeah.
could. Does it make sense from a long-term perspective? No, I don't think it does. I think that display, because they can use bigger machines that have lower ink costs and are faster, they can just lower their prices and obliterate the market. I will say that
But
for
it's not about that. It's about the custom.
it is about the
It's about
custom.
you could get like a local artist
I agree.
printed directly on metal. And yes, there are printing houses in almost every city. Even in Lincoln, there's a printing house that can do aluminium printing. But not all of them can do the 3D texture.
Right.
And that 3D texture adds a lot of like especially if it's digital art.
Yep.
If they've done like watercolor, if they've done oil based but on digital, it feels more tangible once it's printed with a texture. And that's where I see most of the benefit is like you could do it for friends and family, you could do it for small businesses. No, you're not going to compete with display, but you don't have to.
Yeah, you
can do more unique stuff.
Correct. And that's the unique stuff, and doing it more on demand versus order and wait it's a better move. You know, and then when you look at like Morpho, where they can do lenticular, right, which is the you know, you move it like this,
yep,
and you see different things. Lenticular is really cool. I think most UV printers should be able to do lenticular. I don't see why they wouldn't be able.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a Morpho specific, but Morpho is clearly using that as a selling feature. The thing is, Morpho, I don't actually know if they can do the full color 3D printing, but Morpho is the G7 color space, G7 Master color space certified. So you're getting like certified color accuracy. Mike C8101 says, I think all of them can. X-Tool showed it in their booth too. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't exactly, outside of software and outside of the raw printhead and your materials cost.
Yeah.
I'm not certain why you would end up wanting one over another, other than simply brand recognition.
Yeah, and that's what's made it difficult for me, because I want one. I've said it on the street, I want one. I will probably afterwards find a way to put some money down on one of these Kickstarters. I'm not endorsing any of the Kickstarters.
No.
I do use Kickstarter though. The only thing that's pushing me towards Morpho is the open system, like saying it's open by design, saying that there's a plate system. You can print jigs to go in. I like that as a marketing side. Is it winning me over because it's marketing? Yes, I'm eating it up because now I'm a shill. But no, it's the inks is the big one. The Morpho that's pushed me towards it is the lower cleaning amount, whereas the others all have moisturizing fluid and cleaning fluid.
No, the i3200s don't. No, the i3200s don't. Yeah.
Do they not?
No. So Heygears doesn't, X-Tool does, and Eufy does, but the ones that are the i3200s don't, because the printhead doesn't need it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like the i3200 heads are just the superior head.
I mean, just they are until you have to replace them.
Hopefully there's a warranty that covers that.
I'd like to point out, like, the part that I've been showing on camera, that's a 1080 head. That's not a 3200 head. Right? That's the cheaper of the two. It looks pretty good to me. Like, I would want to compare them side by side and say, all right, yes, we know that technically there is a difference. But is there a practical difference? Yeah, is there a practical difference that makes the printhead worth 6x?
I mean, the one that makes it interesting for me is the i3200 looks like it can support more materials and last longer.
It's 8 materials rather than 6.
I don't like if I leave it for a week, it might die. Whereas the i3200's heads, if I leave it for a week, it's just going to have wasted some material. I
Mhm.
prefer that because killing a machine that's already quite expensive and it's an expensive repair, I'd rather it be a more expensive repair, but the chance of it breaking is half. Because
Well,
it's now this risk versus reward matrix.
sure, but the 1080 print head is like $200.
Ah,
Yep.
ah. But
Yep.
again, as Lorianne Brown says, depends on what you want to print.
Right.
I want all of it. I want to print on shirts. I want to print, and I don't mind if it's DTF or DTG. I personally do prefer DTG just because it's more breathable.
It
I
is.
don't like feeling very sweaty in clothes, and I can do a lot of designs that work around the blurriness of DTG. Um, but like I want hats. I want hard things. I want to do phone cases so it's soft. I want to do canvas so I can make things I hang on the wall. I want to do the back of my phone screen because I think it will be neat. And if it's hard resin, it'll be tough. I want to do playing cards. Well, I can get a card and just print the artwork on it as embossed.
Yep.
And I think that flexibility also allows me to do other things. But now it's down to the question of which brand do I go with? Because the Morpho, even though they do have an image of them printing a model that's standing upright, it was obvious it was printed flat and then they rotated it upwards.
Right. Right.
The X tool is just confusing. And while they've got some nice things, like they've got the continuous laminator roller DTF type thing, their actual specifications
I mean,
are
Morpho
not
has
clear.
that. Morpho has the DTF roller too.
Yeah, like the X tool one does not make sense. Why is the heads, the F1080s, the exact same on the two different designs? When I should be able to just switch out the inks.
Yep. And so
Don't get that.
Millen 3D Studio, I think, kind of puts it the way that makes sense. With the O1, which is the X tool, you have to pick a lane. With the U1, the Eufy Make E1, sorry, the E1, you have to pick a lane because it's limited in what it can do. With the Morpho and the Heygears, you technically have to pick a lane, but the lane is either do you want
But
to
you
spend
can
less money?
switch lanes.
Yeah. Like, do you want to spend less money and get the 1080, or do you want to spend more money and get the 3200 and in theory, do better? The print heads are slated for 2100 hours. The 3200s are slated for 2100 hours of use. I don't know if I care too much about hours. I care more about time. Or sorry, I care more about
Maintenance is the
material
one that
flow.
I care about.
Yeah, I care about material flow. Like, how many milliliters can I flow through it? But if they're all using the same print heads and their build volumes are roughly the same, it now just comes down to, do you want to go with unfortunately, Morpho is a lesser known brand, but they've got this,
It does have
DJI.
pedigree.
Yeah, they've got the DJI and I guess laterally Bamboo Lab affiliation, which, like, okay, that actually holds some weight. Or do you have Heygears, which has years of resin and material science and yeah. I
I don't know. My head is going more towards the Heygears just because brand recognition. Like Heygears, yes, there's been a couple machines that have had their issues, but they've not crumbled. They took the feedback, they fixed things, and they grew. And their machines are very well built.
Lorianne Brown says, yes, Heygears is going to have upgrade kits from each model to the next one. So, okay. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
you could start with the cheaper and then go more expensive.
Well, so they have the G1X starter pack, which is 3,300, but there is the deluxe pack, which is $5,000. because
Mike C
Heygears,
says the Morpho has a significantly bigger build volume when doors closed and better exhaust. Now, I don't care about doors closed if I'm working around resins. I don't care that every one of these companies have claimed that they're UL Green Guard.
yeah, I don't care.
Because it's kind of bullshit. UL Green Guard is bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
An open frame i3 printer can get Green Guard because it depends on the quality of the material.
Yep.
I don't care. Like, cool. All the resins I use are technically green. My PPMA is technically Green Guard, but you will not see me in that room without a full-on carbon respirator if I'm working around that material with splash protection. And I'm not talking about this like flimsy boiler suit that a lot of people put on like when they're working like painting walls. No, I'm putting on thick silicon coated overalls because I do not mess around with PPMA. I do not. Oh, she made me snacks. I don't mess around with PPMA. It's not worth it. I don't want my DNA blended and getting turbo cancer by the age of 30. At least 35, then I might consider it. But 30, no.
So their enclosed print area is much bigger, 330 by 220 by 168, and wait, what?
I'm seeing a typo.
Yeah, they're enclosed and they're extended is the same. Yeah, they're enclosed and extended is the same. And Katie said, if you didn't know, Sam Prentice did a great video in China from Morpho. I haven't watched it yet. I should. That I think that there's some value. But yeah, I think that their enclosed and extended printing area, I think that's a typo. I think the extended print area is correct, but I don't think the enclosed print area is correct. If it is, that machine is massive. Because that bed has to move back and forth.
168.
Yeah.
And the Heygears is... where's the size?
Okay, enclosed is A4, extended is A3.
420, 330, 130. So the open flatbed for the Heygears does look bigger.
It is bigger. No, it is bigger. And I guess according to Mark Burton, there is apparently an upgrade path for Morpho from the 1080 to the 3200. Which,
okay, that's quite interesting.
Okay, you have my attention there. I think that would, especially for a small business, dude, start with the friggin' 1080, right? Start with the 1080.
See if you like it.
Yeah, and you know you've got a lower cost to entry, right? They're claiming sub $2,000, and when you're ready to go to the next step, you go to the next step. Right.
Oh, and apparently, again from Laurie and Brown, you've been great with the feedback so far.
They've done their research.
They're selling
clearly.
the i3200 for the same price you can get it from Epson. So there's no markup. That's really good to know.
Yeah, well, my assumption would be that most of these companies... They're
probably getting a good deal, and then the markup is
right.
back.
Like, I'm assuming that most of these companies aren't going to be marking this up at all. I don't think it makes sense for them to do it because consumers will just go buy it directly. Yeah, I mean, you tell me there's an upgrade path and
the fact that there's an upgrade path means you can start with a $2,000 machine.
Yeah.
And upgrade it to the $4,000 machine.
Yep.
That makes it even more challenging because now they've lowered the price to entry to see if I like it or not.
Okay. So Morpho's enclosed printing area is actually 330 by 220 by 168. With the A3 print bed, it goes to 420 by 330 by 168. That is a really, really big... That's a big machine.
Wait. Say that size again. Say that size again.
It just... goes 330, 220 by 168 enclosed. Extended is 420 by 330 by 168.
Okay,
so, I mean, that's...
So the Heygears is 420, 330 by 130.
Yeah, so Morpho's bigger.
The Morpho is bigger in the height.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
But
cheaper.
that makes it harder because the fact that the height, they don't print 3D models.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They don't have the
Heygears,
support material.
Heygears does.
Heygears, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Heygears does, but Morpho doesn't. Morpho has the bigger Z height.
I bet they can. I bet they can.
But they're using the same heads. They should be able to.
Yeah, they should be able to. Dude, it's literally, it's interesting because like, it doesn't, you would think that they would talk about it if they could do it. And they don't.
They specifically say maximum height.
Oh, okay, hold on. On their website, they've got a butterfly inside of a cube. So I'm almost positive
is it up to 60 mil? It says 60 mil texture stacking.
Yes, that is for a flat surface to stack a 60 millimeter texture. That's likely just because of the way the texture functions. This isn't texture stacking, though. They can, just not officially. Okay. Morpho doesn't. Heygears is the only one that can, I think. I don't think Morpho has the tanks for support material Lorianne Brown says. And see, this is exactly why, like, I'm very hesitant to jump in. I would rather say, I understand I'm going to pay more money later, but as a business, I don't want to, like, lock myself in. And even if I have to spend an extra $1,000, say it's an extra $1,000, I feel a little bit more comfortable waiting to see what the maturity cycle of these machines look like. Because if Morpho all of a sudden says, oh yeah, hey, we can also do, full 3D printing in full color, and we're going to give you that full 168.
That's trying to escape.
Oh, and we're going to give you the full 168Z. That's got better value to me. But
yeah, and by the way, chat, I can now talk on the move because I'm on a wireless mic.
You have your wireless mic now.
Yeah, my cat was trying to like rip its way through the window because we got one of those aircon bags, and I think I have to put bloody tape with Beautiful. Like it's okay, you didn't get out, Rosie. But look at the hole he's made.
Oh, what an arsehole.
I know. That's a huge hole.
We can hear her too for reference.
Okay, guys. I'm still repairing it. But yeah, like I don't know why.
Mike C8101 said Morpho CEO said you can if you want. They just don't endorse or support it. And I think the answer, I think we need to add
Is that a legal answer?
That is a legal answer.
But there's probably a patent or a license they need to get to say that they can do it.
I think the real answer is yet. I think the answer is yet. Nisham, that's blasphemy. I am Nisham saying that all cats are assholes. That is blasphemy. Most cats are perfect babies. That would be that would never do anything wrong. But yeah, I like that the Morpho and Heygears are both open materials or quasi open materials. Okay, I love my cats, but they're both assholes when they want to be. Okay, fine. I was gonna say is blasphemous discussion here. So
this is a no cat hating zone except for when we hate cats.
Ronald HS says, I'd get it as a hobbyist, but I got a flat and I don't really want to deal with resins. I think a lot of these brands are realizing like the dangers of these resins. Because like enclosed, you can run it out in the open. But if you have the flatbed down, you can't be anywhere near UV light. Because
also,
it'll mess things up.
It's not as bad as a UV resin printer.
No, like
and that's because there's no vat of liquid. Like the problem with the vats of liquid is off-gassing, and that's what creates the hazardous component. Like, yeah, you're dealing with the chemical as well, but in a UV, I'm going to call these 2D printers because these are in fact just 2.5D printers. All of them are the same. Is the moment that the UV is jetted, it's cured. It's 100% cured for the most part, but it's what was the term? It's like capsulized, but it's not. There's like a bit at the start, encapsulated.
Oh, it's well constrained. It's well constrained. When the parts come out from the machine, you can handle them. But personally,
and the UV light that spills over cures most of the stuff in the air as well. Yeah. And there's not going to be much stuff in the air.
No.
Like the hazard rating of a UV printer is good enough that the industrial scale of these, you can just put 30 of the industrial versions of these. And bear in mind, like D-Brand, for example, they print the phone and camera vinyl stickers.
Mm-hmm.
That's UV printing. Unless I'm top corrected otherwise. Sorry, D-Brand, if I make a mistake.
Some of it is. Some of it's going to just be vinyl cutting. But some of it is UV. Yeah.
But like for the printed stuff, the UV printing that they do on those machines is safe enough that they're open frame. Like they don't need to worry about HVAC and all of that. It is safe enough you can work around.
They're also normally on a shop floor where you have so much air in the building that, okay, if you put an industrial, UV printer in a flat, you're going to have some problems. But if you put it into, a massive warehouse, it doesn't matter. I will say both of these machines have internal air filters. So in theory, the smell's not that bad. But in terms of VOCs and danger, like the VOCs from a resin printer are worse when you're cleaning it. The VOCs are actually not that bad on a resin printer when you're just printing it. It's when you're curing it, or well, not when you're curing it, when you're washing it. That's when it's the worst for resin. And these don't have that stage. Morpho doesn't claim the soluble support. Heygears does. So I think right now that's going to be...
At the moment, I'm going towards Heygears.
Yes, I would as well. I think I'm willing to give up a bit of that Z height, give up an inch of Z height in exchange for being able to do full color 3D prints with the soluble support. I would assume at some part, that Morpho is going to add this.
You can tell I've got ADHD because I put my drink here, which is unopened.
Did you bring another
with the pill that I'm supposed to take on the drink, and I just forgot both of them existed.
Yep.
I'm an idiot.
It happens. Just because I
don't
like
do drugs unless they're for you.
Right. It's why I. Oh God! So the G1X Deluxe. No, it's not that. I want the G1X full pack. The G1X full pack at $35.99 includes, and so this is from Heygears. It has their 1 liter bottle station. So Heygears has a. Why can I hear myself?
Oh, is the background cancellation?
Yes.
Oh, the background noise cancellation.
I can clearly hear myself. The G1X full 3D pack has bigger resin station. That's secondary. I kind of like that. But I would think that if Morpho's going to officially support full color,
don't touch it.
I'll consider it. But yeah, I kind of want full color. I don't know.
Yeah, I want full color as well. Like the full color 3D pack seems to be the best one. But I will say, which one was it? Because the full color 3D pack is $3,600. There was another one, which was, where was the pricing? Do I have to go all the way up for it? Yes. I hate Kickstarter because everything's pictures.
Yeah.
And I can't just control F search. But there was one for like 4,900.
Yeah, that's the G1X Deluxe, which just comes with more ink. It comes with the rotary. It comes with the direct to film. It comes with
everything.
It's the everything. Yeah. So it includes the extra materials, roll to film laminator printing kit, rotary printing kit, and true DTF transfer printing kit. So, okay, in reality, the $5,000 deluxe is, if you're looking at this from a business perspective, that's probably the one you want. If you want to just start off the 3,500 or 3,600, and the MSRP 5,500, I think the MSRP for these is kind of similar to how Michaels does MSRP. It's just always going to be on sale.
Yeah, I was gonna say if this went up to $8,000, I'm not buying it. $8,000 is a new electric car with 350 miles of range.
Good sir, $3,600 is at least 2 of my cars. Like,
Yeah.
I
Like I've spent the last 2 weeks, better part of 2 weeks, constantly looking at Auto Trader. I have found a 2023 plate VW ID3 for $6,000 with a 300-mile battery in it.
You don't want a BMW.
It's a VW.
Oh, I thought you said BMW.
No,
Volkswagen.
the electric BMWs suck and they're way too expensive. There's also a Skoda with a 330-mile battery for $9,000. So just put in perspective, for $1,000 less is the same MSRP as a single UV printer on your desk.
Mind you, though,
it's a hard swallow unless you have a use case.
But that UV printer is also a DTF. It can do rotary onto like cups and mugs and stuff like that. So that one has more. At 3,600, you don't get the rotary, you don't get the DTF laminator thing. Fine, I think. And if you really wanted to add that later, you could. I agree with Lorianne Brown, where the starter pack does not include the larger resin bottles. I absolutely, for $300 more, I want the larger bottles. I am curious to see if you can run it without the bigger bottles, and you can just, like, you know, let's say you wanted to go to a craft show, bring this with you, make stuff custom. If you would have to bring both units, or you could just bring the one and a bunch of the small bottles if you wanted to, right? Portability, usability, I think that's the kind of stuff that really starts to matter for machines like this, because these are not lightweight machines. They are very heavy. No. Like you're looking at like 30 kilos for most of them or more, right? That's it's heavy. It's really heavy. And I guess they're also doing a G1X twin pack, which is 2 of everything. How many people have gotten that? So 510 people got the $5,000 unit, and 59 of them got the twin pack. I feel like Heygears often runs sales. I'm not too concerned, but I think I like the Morpho because its enclosed size is really big. Like it's respectable, right? And the Heygears one is so much smaller. I'm
not gonna care about the full 3D resin printing. Oh my god, Luffy, stop touching.
Oh, well, there goes Jacob.
Stop it.
Oh, he's back now. So you don't care about the 3D printing side of this? I don't know if we lost Jacob. This is like one of those. Yeah. Okay. The G1X.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Don't touch Sharita. Don't touch Sharita. I can't tell if it's the Ethernet cable, but the moment something touch.
What? Okay.
Am I stable?
Yeah.
Am I stable?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Heygears is 100 pounds, like 100 pounds in weight, 45 kilos. I'm trying to find its
printing. Heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. But that's with the extra resin bottles. Like, you know, with the resin bottle
Yeah.
thing.
I do like the Morpho enclosed space is huge, which makes it more palatable for being at home. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, if I'm doing this in earnest, I'm gonna put this in a shed. I'm gonna put it in my factory. I'm not
Says
gonna
the
keep
person
it
that
in my
turned
bedroom.
a bedroom into their house into a resin room.
I mean, that room was terrible already,
You have no space to
and
comment
now
here.
it's worse.
You have no space to comment here.
I do have the world's filthiest resin room. It is cleaner now.
It's pretty
It is
bad.
much cleaner.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work on it.
Oh, I'm sure.
We have sunsetted all but 2 of the machines.
Good.
Because we've got 2 that just do everything, and we're going to sunset them further because honestly, I hate to say it, but PCBWay's SLS service is cheap enough that
Yep.
yeah, we're paying a bit more, meaning we're losing a bit of margin, but
Yep.
I don't have to deal with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to deal with cancer. I'd rather pay £2 per more per part and not touch the turbo cancer liquid.
That's fair.
And I've made that decision myself. It wasn't pressured on me by a mother who just wants that room back, even though I've looked at it, gone like, good luck trying to disinfect that room. Because you're going to need to replaster everything because it's permeated every surface. Thankfully, I do have a solution for that. I have a UVC with ozone generating 600 watt
you just
quartz
burn
bulb.
it out. You just burn it out.
So I'm going to leave that on for like a week. And I'm going to irradiate the entire room to oblivion. But yeah, I'm kind of done with resin. Resin's good for prototyping, I should say. It's good for high quality, like, final prototypes. But I'm done with resin.
Real quick, the Morpho, the G1X is not that much smaller. So it is 330 by 130 by 150 enclosed. Morpho is 330 by 220 by 168. So if you look at volumetrically,
they're about the same.
No, because they're both 330, right? And then the Morpho.
So are you reading the Morpho? You read the Morpho, and I'll read the Heygears.
Yeah, sure. So
you go first.
330 by 220 by 168.
330 by 130 by 150.
Yeah. So you're small in Y and in Z. So volumetrically, you're significantly smaller. Also, big thank you to Sembuzuru for the $5 saying, love listening to nerds nerding out, even if I really have no interest in UV printers. And look, I don't have a ton of interest in UV printers either. What I have an interest in are multi-process machines that are actually decent. And like, come on, admit it. I understand it. It's AI
that does
slop.
look good.
It is, and this is from an F180 head, man. Like,
that is really good,
dude.
The problem is, like, am I just being picky? Am I wanting everything because I'm a little slut when it comes to function, or is just getting hard, rigid material good enough? Because,
well,
I want to print on like displate, for example. That was the first thing that came to my mind was displate. But when it comes to like the flex of the metal, just that little micro flex, is that enough to break it? Because I'm thinking in my head like
I doubt
UV resin printers.
Yeah, you're used to being very
pretty brittle. Is that brittleness carried over?
I don't know. Can find out.
Oh, I don't want you to ruin your nice little toy.
I mean, just more so to figure out how fragile it is.
Because they've done that on a piece of ceramic.
Yeah.
Which is hard. Really hard.
This is... I'm just trying to, like, cut the UV off, and...
if you do it from the middle on one of the raised bits, you might be able to get a bite and feel if it shatters.
I tried to get under one of the little whiskers, and no, it didn't shatter.
I'm going to assume it's pretty hard, then.
Well, no, it's going to have some ductility to it.
Bite, a bit, right?
Well,
It would flex.
those also don't close very well. I'm gonna grab a sharp knife here and just see if I can kind of cut into it. Oh, yeah,
Remember,
it's
guys, we're
soft.
gonna.
It's soft.
Oh, it's soft.
So yeah, this is it's from West 3D. So I used to open
Hey.
packages, but yeah, it's God, what's the best way to describe this? It's like a 72D. Like it's
Really?
it's not flexible, but like, I'm trying to see if I can like put a dent in it with my fingernail, you know? I cannot put a visible dent in it with a fingernail. But I don't think this is like regular UV resin where you look at it the wrong way and it cracks on you, right? I
Yeah.
think that this has some more ductility to it. Get a hardness tester. No, it's good.
Grant is the hardness tester.
There's pretty much no
Grant is
way.
used to testing hard things.
But there's pretty much no way that it doesn't just go all the way through and hit the tile.
Yeah.
And yeah, Heygears has a flexible white ink. So like I'm torn. I like the bigger print volume of the Morpho, but and this is why, like, I mean, if we can work with the companies early on, I'll happily take a machine. But if I'm actually going to be spending my own money on this, I'm going to pay the higher price and see how it goes.
I'd rather have the company name behind it for a Kickstarter. Because, like, for example, like, imagine if Construct 3D came out with a new printer design. There's track record that we've done printers, and if we do a bad job on this, it's going to harm our company. A brand new company, however, there's no track record and no harm done. Because if they don't follow through in it, there's nothing that's going to affect them. They could just close and move on. And I'm always skeptical when a first product is a Kickstarter product because it shows no track record.
I guess with the fact that, you know, they worked with Bamboo people, they worked at DJI. I have more faith than I would normally for delivery like this. And like, they had their product at Open Source. They've been to Murph. They've been to events. So it's not like this is, you know, they're coming out of nowhere and they're launching a Kickstarter.
I mean,
and to be
in
clear,
fairness, they did get a printer out to Sam Prentice.
They flew him out.
Yeah.
I think they flew him to China. I need to watch the video.
I mean, Sam's in China so often, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, Sam goes to China a bunch. But, you know, Heygears still has 46 days left. I don't know how long the project started for, but they've raised $9.2 million.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
You know, and Heygears has that track record. But really, for me, the big one is it's that support for full color 3D. And
they have David Tobin's recommendation. The CEO is cool.
That's fair. And like, you know, hey, that is.
I mean, that's pulling the heavyweight. Like, if David is like, these guys are cool, I have a tendency to believe him because David's never let me wrong. He's always been bang on with his assumptions on everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Heygears launched 3 days ago, apparently. But yes, yeah, the David Tobin seal of approval, if you will.
Yeah.
I think it carries some weight, right? The guy's good at kind of seeing through BS and doing it diplomatically. So I think if there were things that like didn't pass the sniff test, he's not afraid to call them out. He is the more professional Louis Rossmann, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. By the way, Louis is coming to Tampa soon.
Really?
Yep, in 1 month. So I will be at that event. So I'll be able to get some time with him and talk more about this whole situation. So
that'll be amazing.
Yeah. We've been emailing back and forth quite a bit, but it's like, oh yeah, you're just gonna be here. we'll talk when you're in town. Yeah, I think if Morpho can look at supporting soluble supports, the build volume alone is enough to bring me over. I don't care if the price is lower. That's like they're close enough in price that it's not that big of a deal to me. But if they can't or won't support the full color 3D printing, I feel like that's enough of a downside for me as a user, and me as someone who's been in this business long enough, owns quite a few high resolution 3D scanners that could easily use a full color 3D printer to do more crash cars and things like that with. Yeah, I think the Heygears, because of my specific requirements, has my has my out of the list that we've been through, which is Eufy
I mean, I
Make,
found that interesting
X-Tool,
because
Heygears, and Morpho.
I was
Heygears
going to
wins.
originally go with the X-Tool because it's X-Tool. Like, X-Tool has a great brand recognition, and then it's just gotten really confusing with them. Like, you have to pick a lane, but the lanes seem to be identical, but the marketing is a bit different. Don't like that. Something weird's going on. I don't trust it. If I can't work out what the difference is from your marketing,
Yeah,
why one liquid doesn't work in the other when the heads are the same, and it should just be a purge and replace, something's funky's going on.
like, I want, like, so then they're saying an exclusive neon effects for the dual head UV edition. That's annoying. I want the neon, but I want it with the fabric one too.
Yeah,
But
but again, like, the heads are the same. It's twin
F180s or
F1080s.
1080s.
No,
sorry.
F1080s. It's twin F1080s. Why is there this arbitrary limitation on the resin for which goes in each head? Like, shouldn't there be a purge sequence? You load a new material, it might be a different color. Like, yeah, sure, purge it. Or are they literally just saying, like, the amount of material needed to purge is more than is in the bottle, and that's why you can't do it?
So the other thing with the dual head UV is that it can do the rigid white and flexible white, the fluorescent red, fluorescent yellow, and you know they can both do the 3-in-1 varnish, but your flexibles are also locked into your dual head UV. So you're basically asking yourself, do you want a direct to film, or they say DT fabric, so I don't know if that's direct to fabric or direct to film. I think it's direct to film.
I would assume that's direct to garment, because they show a picture.
Well, okay, that's fair, because yeah,
printing.
they can all do DTFs, it says. All of them do DTFs. Yeah. But like, also again, the F1080 heads, right? And now there's two
like, they're
of
the
them.
same heads.
No, the Heygears and Morpho, at least
no, as in for X-Tool. X-Tool,
yes.
They're the same heads.
Yes.
And if they're the same heads, why are they locking a material from one machine to the other?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get that. Like, maybe there's an incompatibility with the fabric ink, because tend to be the fabric inks are more aqueous, meaning they're water-based instead of resin-based. But I don't get it when the other companies are saying you can switch.
And like, the thing is, X-Tool already makes an apparel printer. I saw it at ISTE, and like, dude, their apparel printer it's nuts. Like, it is a proper.
Is it?
Oh my god, it's huge. It is a proper DTF machine. Like, and they were using it at the show.
Ooh.
Yeah, and like, absolutely beautiful. But I think that's closer to 10 grand.
Yeah, that's a professional tool at that point.
Mike C says the other companies aren't pushing direct to garment. There you go. But I would argue if you can do flexibles, which Heygears can, you can probably print direct to garment.
That was the thing I didn't get, is direct to garment is you put the chemical base on it, it's an aqueous solution, and you add the special white that turns white instead of turns grey.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the difference between direct to garment isn't like what I'm wearing now, where it feels a little bit softer on the print, versus just printing a flexible resin into the fabric with the flexi white resin? Because then that's similar to TPU printing directly onto a fabric.
So for Xtool, it's special inks, right? So the Xtool uses I gotta scroll back down. Crap. It is the Oecotech certified DT fabric ink. So they're using like specific direct to fabric ink. So
And that's a good point. Heygears says they have aqueous inks as well, so you can print direct to garment.
I wonder why Heygears isn't pushing that. I guess at some point your machine does so many things that people start to question. It's like, that seems like
Maybe.
a lot. You know?
I mean, it does make sense. Like, these machines they already do a lot. Trying to explain what they do is quite insane.
Well, and the issue is, it's like, as a business, if you wanted to do this for a business, you have to buy this machine. And sure, while it's shipping, you can start to build the brand, you can start to build customers and things like that. But if you're not like ready to go into full production when the machine shows up, you're going to end up spending a lot of money on wasted material just to keep the machine from hurting itself, right? From clogging nozzles while you build the brand. And that's the hardest thing with something like this, because like, you know, again, I'm going to look at the G1X full pack, $3,600. That's a lot of money, right? That is a lot of money. And if you're just starting out as a business, buddy, that's an expense. Like, again, if Heygears is going to have an upgrade thing, if Morpho is going to have an upgrade thing, start with the cheaper machine, then upgrade, the parts to the bigger machine later on. But do I trust that's going to be as good as getting the bigger machine from the get-go? I don't know. I don't know. That's the problem. Nisham says, again, Ron Popeil infomercial, but wait, there's more. Yeah, and honestly, if it claims you can do 30 in one, like, it stops passing the sniff test.
Look, the only thing I'll believe that does 30 in one is my shampoo.
Millen 3D Studio says these inks only have a shelf life of 1 year as well. That's fine. I'm not really worried about that. If you're not burning
honestly,
through...
the shelf life is also a little bit exaggerated.
Well, resins only have
shelf life.
3D printing resins don't have a shelf life of more than a year.
No, and for reference, I've been using resin that is now 3 years out of date with no issues, because it just becomes a bit more viscous. Just warm it up and you'll generally be fine. And these printers have head warmers, so I wouldn't worry about ink degradation over time.
But
it's not like we're finding ink in a bombed out shelter 10 years into the future of the apocalypse.
Here's the thing though, like, if you're not going through a bottle in a year, you made the wrong business decision.
You shouldn't have bought the machine.
You should have sold it, right? You should have sold it. If you're not getting the use case out of it, sell it. I think that this is a great opportunity for the... I hate to classify it like this, but it's the easiest, like... It is a target audience. It is one that is actively looking at this. It's the stay-at-home mom, mompreneur, right? Which
this is the Etsy in a single machine.
It is the Etsy in a single machine, but this also brings in the dad that has 3D printers, that wants to do the 3D printing, and like the momtrepreneur, sure, doesn't necessarily care about the 3D, because that is more than what the momtrepreneur wants to do. So the Morpho or the Xtool, and if you're already in the Xtool ecosystem, right? If you're already in with Xtool lasers, like you have the F2 Ultra, which gives you the MOPA and all that, I would certainly say that not having to learn another piece of software is a huge benefit of what Xtool brings to the market. But if you are technologically competent, which some are, some aren't, going to another ecosystem works. But the momtrepreneurs might say, I really like
It's
the
too
Xtool
much.
creative space.
Like they like their Canva a bit too much.
Right.
They like their comfort software.
Well, it's how Glowforge has succeeded for as long as they did, right? I think that Xtool's eating their lunch right now, but Xtool said, okay, we're going to start with the nice, tiny, portable, like the Xtool F1, right? Now they're starting to get into the Glowforge, like with the P3, I think is what it is. It's their desktop-ish CO2 laser that is for wood and things like that. They've got insane levels of filtration. Like they have a filter unit that fits like an EATX motherboard. It's a huge filter unit.
Yep.
And like they were burning wood the entire time, and I could not smell it. And I have a very sensitive nose to that kind of stuff. It's like, dude, credit where it's due. I think most momtrepreneurs are just going to toss a tube outside, but it's there. I do think that the Heygears brings more of a family atmosphere where the technical dad and maybe the kid want to be involved, where the Xtool and definitely the Eufy make are more for the momtrepreneurs, if you will. And I hate to like paint with that brush because it is a bit of a sexist brush. It's a bit of it's
a bit, but it's also not wrong. Stereotypes,
but it's not wrong.
I hate to say it.
Yeah,
are there wrong for a reason. And I mean, I don't have that many friends. I've grown up. I moved out. I'm in a different part of the city. I lost a load. My new friend group, 3 of them are stay-at-home moms that do Etsy.
And to be clear,
a market segment.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I have no issue with it.
Oh no, they do a great
job. Go girl boss your way into a business, and
great.
You could be more successful than 3D Musketeers. I hope you are, right? I'm saying that these products to me are very much designed around that target audience, and that's fine. Want to be clear. But yeah, like with Xtool, you've got the MOPA, you've got the UV one that can do the bricks, right? As much as I don't like, oh, hello, small child.
It's her bedtime. She came to say goodnight. Do you want to say goodnight to people? Okay, bedtime now. Okay, it's bedtime. It's bedtime.
Gross. The kid loves you.
I know. She's so cute. She's adorable. Okay, say goodbye. Wave to the camera. Yay.
Bye.
Okay.
Ooh, this is so interesting. So Star cute. Rose 3 put something in the chat that I didn't expect. I have a Cricut, and they recently sent out a survey about 3D printing.
Oh.
Now,
Cricut 3D printer?
I want to be clear. I'm not a huge fan of Cricut. And in fact, some of the first
I don't like their machines.
Bigger videos on the channel were me calling out Cricut for acting like a bunch of dickbags because they were being they were not being great. And like we got on to like big channels, like 150, 200, 300,000 subscribers to talk about this problem. And it's like, no, we were just doing consumer advocacy stuff. I think Cricut has navigated those waters quite well. But I think at this point, for the price, I'm almost considering saying, go get an A2L. Right? Yeah. Like an A2L has all the features of most of the Cricuts. I guess it doesn't you can't put a roller on it right now. Someone will probably find a way. But then you also have a 3D printer. But I would say like a Silhouette or a Brother is a better machine anyways than a Cricut. But I recognize that a lot of the, again, painting with the broad brush, momtrepreneurs very much want an ecosystem that works. And they're willing to pay a little bit of extra money to make sure that that happens.
Yeah.
And I think that's acceptable, right? I guess I'm trying to understand. Like, Heygears says it's for the DIY and hobby, business and studio, art and design. Okay, so it's for everybody. Like, what are your
It's the everything
actual,
machine.
like, your actual target audiences for Heygears, I think, are Heygears resin printer users that want to do full color resin, that also happen to be able to do other things. I think the big selling feature on the Heygears is the full color resin with clear. I think Morpho is more specifically going after X-Tool and Eufy Make, where Heygears is kind of sitting in their own class, you know?
I don't know, I see Heygears and the Morpho, they went at the same problem, slightly different ways, but it was they looked at the X-Tool and they definitely looked at the Eufy Make and went, they could have done so much more. And then they decided to do the rest of it. They finished the owl. They were like, okay, other heads exist, let's use them.
Yeah.
We can make it bigger. Because size for machines is the cheap bit. It's not, once you get to a certain size, it becomes expensive again. But going from small to medium, that's basically free.
Yeah.
And it opens up a lot more. Going to the different head, triple speed, according to both of their claims. And again, like, if you're going to the i3200, you don't, hopefully, because I've not seen any marketing on the Heygears side, but if they're using the same heads, it's going to be doing consistent purging.
They are. They're both using the i3200. Yeah.
So I'm going to assume they both do the same purging thing. So the marketing thing from the Morpho of 90% less waste is carried over to the Heygears.
Maybe. It all depends on what their purging frequency and purging cycle is. But yes, the i3200 uses less ink, right? It purges less material. There's less waste involved in it. And that's fine. That's completely acceptable. But of course, the print heads are 6x the price.
Yeah.
Apparently, Morpho has a different gantry and wiping process. Fair, right? That's, each machine will be a little bit different. I assume Heygears is going to end up purging more, because I think even though these companies do offer, like they offer their third-party materials.
Yep.
I think it's going to be pretty obvious that there's going to be a lot of risks involved in going to third-party materials, and they're going to try to keep you within their ecosystem. I don't know what those are going to be fair, but I would heavily caution you, if you are buying or looking at buying or backing or whatever one of these machines simply so you can use third-party materials, I would heavily caution you to do that unless the material is very, very well suited for the Epson i3200. So,
and like, bear in mind, I will probably personally use third-party materials, but I'm also going to wait until people get these in their hands and get a couple of weeks of use of those third-party materials, and they make their own YouTube videos on, hey, look, there's a material that works, because I don't want to be the guinea pig. I don't want to ruin my machine to do it. I can't afford more than 2.
Yep.
And I don't want to be buying one just to break it for another.
The winner for me right now, I mean, like, if I look at Heygears, right, the bulk of their marketing, the bulk of what they're talking about, when you scroll through, it's not the shirt printing, it's not, DTF, it's full color 3D printing, right? It's a full color 3D printer that happens to be able to do the other stuff too. And so here's the fun one. Flashforge with the CJ270. That is a full color. They're calling it multi-jet. It's a polyjet printer.
It's a polyjet printer.
All it does is 3D printing. I don't know the specs on it. I guess I can look that up real quick. I don't know the build volume yet. Let me see what they've got for it. Because, like, you know, they're pushing desktop full color 3D printer, but I think the build volume is going to be a big deal. Oh my God, it's tiny. 180 by 120 by 100.
Oh my God. So, and how much is that printer?
There is no price that I'm aware of at this moment.
So either way, they've lost.
I think they've lost.
They've lost to a multi-tool that isn't even trying to.
The build volume
take their
alone
cake.
makes it the loser in my mind. Now, if you're going to come out at $1,000, fine.
But those heads aren't cheap.
I don't know what head they're using.
Unless they've redesigned the head and developed their own, like.
I don't know what they're using. They're not.
I mean, the likelihood that they've developed their own head is low because all of these other companies are buying heads in. Like, Morpho has said, like, they worked on this for years. They would have determined if it was actually cost effective to develop their own print head.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Outside of, you know, hyper specific, commercial off-the-shelf solutions will always be better than doing something dead custom. And I mean, Jacob, you understand this with like your miso hot end.
Oh, yes.
Right? You understand this with All Clean, where, yeah, All Clean is really expensive. It's the best on the market, but it's really expensive. And the average user might say, I don't want to spend that kind of money. And that's fine. Yep. They're not your target audience. You're looking at the hyper specific user. And sure, you know, I've seen the CJ270 now 3 times in person. I've seen prints from it. I've handled prints from it. It's a standard polyjet printer. In fact, I wasn't really impressed with its color detail or color rendition. Maybe it just wasn't working right that day when I saw it. But yeah, unless they're under $1,000, I don't see the CJ270 really grabbing a market. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, not when I could buy a Heygears that does other things. And it's got a bigger build volume.
I'd say, like, volumetrically 4 times the size. Right? Yeah. That's... God, FlashForge, come on, man. Like, that is so tiny.
Had this tendency of...
It's smaller in every dimension.
Interesting machines and then kind of shitting the bed in other aspects. Like, they made a tool changer. Where is it? I've not heard anything from it.
The Creator
Nobody's
5?
Seen it. Yeah.
There's one in my garage.
Yeah, but how many people do you know that's actually got that machine?
Most of them are content creators.
Exactly. Yeah. No one's bought the machine.
I don't know if they have.
And it's not as good as others. Like, they try to get first to market, we're late,
yeah,
and then they've undercooked it. And that's kind of been the FlashForge thing forever. Even like going back to their Creator series, their Creator 1 and Creator 2 and their Creator 2 Pro were just Ultimaker clones.
MakerBot clones.
But slightly worse. Yeah, they're MakerBot.
Yeah, they were Replicator 2 and 2X clones.
Yeah. And they weren't that good. They didn't really fix anything. They said they were the premium brand back in the Replicator and Creator series days.
Yeah.
And then they just hit a wall and died. And they keep coming back for a death spurt. But then they completely missed the mark. Like, they came out with their multi-material unit for their AE5M. E5M,
oh, the 85M, they have the 85X. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like the P1P Lite.
Yeah.
And it just didn't hit the mark because it wasn't good enough to do the same job, and it was still not the right price when the Centauri Carbon existed.
And that's fair. What FlashForge has always done is they come in at a very aggressive price point. Honestly, it's the software that I'm worried the most about for FlashForge, because, like, what have they been doing for software? They've just been, you know, forking and rebranding Orca into their own version, yep. Right? And look, I'm not going to hate a company for doing it because it's like everybody's doing it, but your consumers don't care. Just let it be called Orca Slicer. And if you're going to have it be Flashforge Orca or Snapmaker Orca, aka Snorka, then make sure it's kept up with mainline, please. Like,
Yeah.
I want within 72 hours of an update to mainline Orca, I want your slicer to have that. And you should be offering better things to your consumers than baseline Orca because there's no other reason to not use baseline Orca. But yeah, 180 by 120 by 100. I think Heygears walking all over the floor with that. And unless Snapmaker's going to come out and, or not Snapmaker, unless Flashforge is going to come out and be disgustingly cheap and disgustingly affordable, I think they've got a really tough market ahead of them, personally.
Yep. So what's your feeling so far? Morpho or Heygears?
I want the full color 3D printing. So it's.
I'm going with that. Like, especially like because even on Morpho's thing, where they are specialty inks and they show off UV fluorescent inks, X-Tool's out the window for that alone. And because not X-Tool,
No, that's
X-Tool.
X-Tool.
X-Tool. I keep getting all of these names up.
Eufy Make can't do confusing. It. X-Tool forces you and locks
X-Tool's
you
out
into
the window.
Yeah.
But Heygears can do the same material. They've got an open material platform. You could just feed it through. The only major differences I'm seeing is supposedly there's a different cleaning process. But I would assume because they're using the same heads, it will be the same. Because they're also both using white ink circulation.
Yep, which is typical.
So it's a copy.
That's typical.
And one of them can do full color 3D. So I'm going full color 3D. And yeah, the Morpho does show a couple of examples of DTF printing. It's not enough for me to say that it can do that. And that is a shame because the X-Tool, not X-Tool, the Heygears does show aqueous solution printing towards the bottom of their page. It shows printing on tote bags. It shows printing on shirts. It shows using a DTF laminator. It shows using DTG by the looks of it. So again, why the Eufy Make is dead. These companies, even X-Tool, have eaten Eufy Make's lunch. Is that a bad thing? No. I think that's just the development cycle. Eufy Make opened the doors. These guys came along, saw what they did, and copied and improved. So they didn't need to develop the hard bit first. And we're probably going to see this flip-flop where Anchor Maker is going to come out with another machine, which should be fine.
Yeah,
and
we'll have to see.
It will be interesting to see where this goes. Like, I'd like to see A2-sized printers of this.
What size
because
is A2?
If these are just... It's double the size of A3.
What's the size of A3?
What do you mean you don't know what the size of A3? Do you know what A4
8.5 by 11? Is that A4?
I don't know. We don't ever reference that size. It's just
I don't
A4.
Know. We don't do that.
Is this an American thing?
Yes.
Do you not have A sizes for paper?
No.
What's your regular photocopier paper? Like your
8.5 by 11
paper.
8.5 inches by 11 inches.
Okay, yeah. So A4, thanks Mike.
Yeah,
for putting
it's
it in.
US letter size. US letter size is 8.5 by 11 inches.
Okay, so US letter size, and A3 is just two of them next to each other. And then A2 is two of them next to each other, and A1 is two of them next to each other, and A0 is again two of them next to each other, and then you get only into custom sizing.
So once again, you're telling me that the metric system is better. All right, cool. Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Didn't know that. Great. Yep. America's even worse than I thought. Imagine going to America and be like, can I have some A4 paper? And nobody knows what you're talking about.
No one's going to know. Yeah, unless you're at like a copy shop. No one's going to know.
Yeah, literally no one knows the sizes of paper in the UK. And I should, because I do art on those sizes. And I'm just like, yeah, A4. Even Photoshop has A4, A3, A2, A1, A5. which is half the size of your American letter, whatever paper. Literally, it cuts it in half in the lengthways, and then A6 is it cuts it in half, and you just keep cutting and doubling for the number. That's it.
So what you're saying is double it and give it to the next guy.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Like if we could see like an A3 and A2 sized bed volume, like industrial scale thing, like you could do full canvases on that.
Yeah.
I would be interested in that very heavily. Like you'd be able to put an entire shirt in, not just the square and the middle.
At that point,
and do all of it.
At that point, you're not on a desktop machine anymore. You're at an industrial machine. Now,
okay, but here
could they do that? Could they add that? Could they add a bigger unit?
How hard would it be to take an angle grinder to this machine and just extend everything?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But how hard would it be? It's just linear rails. It's just some motion components on a bed. It's the same problem with 3D printing. Like, how hard is it to make your printer 20 mil bigger in every size or 50 mil bigger in every size? Because it's not doing the little forward and backwards. It's just going, it's a straight line laser. It just goes, whoop, whoop. Like,
yeah, that's...
And they make them for cheap. Those like diode lasers where you can make them the size of an entire like 2 meter by 1 meter sheet. They're just some extrusion and that's it.
I would think that the target audience for something of that size is much smaller than the target audience for something that is this size. Because this is something that fits on your desk. It fits on a shelf. It is something that can fit in the trunk of your car. And while it might weigh 100 pounds with the huge ink bottle reservoir, the main unit itself might weigh a lot less, say 30 kilos, 66 pounds, right? That is heavy, but that is single person movable. You should probably have a friend if you can, but it's single person movable, which makes it like really useful to pack up and move it and take it to a show and do something live. Something that's like an A2 or an A1 size, too big. You're not moving it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of these companies would say, all right, we're going to hit a better target audience by doing the smaller size first. And if we see a lot of demand for bigger machines, we can make the bigger machine later. I don't think they'd have a 9 million plus Kickstarter if they went with the bigger machine to start. I think that is much smaller
size.
Yeah, it is. It is the perfect size. And as much as I wish that the Heygears machine had the same build volume as the Morpho machine, for the 3D printing side of it alone, I am willing to accept the smaller build volume.
I mean, it's still bigger than the Flash Forge.
I mean, yeah. God, that sucks for Flash Forge, man. I was really excited for the CJ. Well, because dude, the CJ270 is huge.
It's a massive machine. I saw it in Formnext, and it was huge.
Yeah. Okay. I can hear myself again. The Bear machine, 700 millimeters by 408 millimeters by 400 millimeters. The damn thing is 700 millimeters wide, and it's only going to give me 180 millimeters in the Z, or in the X. What? Now, 7 micron layer thickness. What are we looking at? Do we know our layer thickness on these other machines? I don't know if we do.
So the layer thickness of the Heygears says 20 to 30 microns.
Oh, okay. So that's...
No, 10 to 20 microns.
10 to 20. Okay, well... you will get better resolution at 7. But 20 microns is still
not
fine
that much
too.
Difference.
20 microns is still fine too.
I print my Warhammer resin models at 40 microns. and no one can tell the difference.
I think most resin printers you can use 50 or 75, and most people won't know the difference.
The only time I've noticed a difference is when I've gone like 80 to 150. And that's because I print threads in stuff, M3 and M2.5 threads.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make a difference then. But again, like 20 microns is the high end of resin printing at the moment, and they're going down to 10. Like, no one's going to have a problem with that.
Well,
I mean,
course,
I'd be happy if we could up it to like 40 microns, but we're probably not going to get that.
I was going to say, like, there's kind of your problem here with resin is like, yeah, you'll get better resolution at 7 microns, but now each 20 micron layer on the Heygears is 3 layers on the FlashForge, which means it takes 3 times the amount of time, assuming they both move at the same speed. Yeah, FlashForge, this better be cheap. It better be real cheap, or this it doesn't work.
It needs to be sub £1,000, like $1,300 or £1,000, because if I can pick up a Heygears, the starter one, for $2,000, it's a bigger volume, does more things, has more stuff.
Okay, so the G1, which is the F1080, cannot do full color 3D printing.
No. It's only CMYK WV. So the varnish and the white.
Yep.
I'd still assume, because everything we've seen so far...
But it's upgradable.
The white,
it's upgradable.
The white can be switchable with the flexible white. So it still can do a lot of things. It can print on, like, your wallets, by the looks of it. And, like, your harder, soft things, like tote bags, but not shirts. But again, it's still 6 ink channels. Most people print on a 4-color CMYK printer.
Yeah.
And they don't notice color issues, because unless you're a trained artist, you're not going to see color very well.
I agree.
So I don't think it'll be a problem when it comes to model printing either.
No,
but with that being said, you can just upgrade later and get a better head if you really needed to.
I'd be curious to see what that upgrade takes. Now I see that, like, Heygear has this Heyverse Plus subscription. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's just AI.
It probably is, but it's something to keep in mind. Maybe these machines do need some sort of, like, you know, fancy whatever software. Just again,
Heyverse, AI creation and model library.
Great. I'll never use it. But
I'm never going to use it. There's other AI tools out there that I can use.
Credit where it's due to Heygears. They have a whole statement on AI at the bottom of their Kickstarter, where they state that they're only trained on officially licensed and, you know, obtained models. So, like, hey, Gears, 10 out of 10 on that. Like, thank you for making that. I would love if we could audit that and just check, just to make sure. I'd like to know. But yeah, I'd be very curious to know what the cost to upgrade would be, because if the cost to upgrade is just literally the print head, start with the cheap one. When you burn out the cheap print head, replace it with the good one, and you're good. Done and done. You have time to build your business. You can now upgrade to a nicer head, and you're good. I think that's great.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, like, again, I'm going back to the wedding, because this is my excuse for buying it, is wedding stuff. Like, I could bring it with me to the wedding reception and just set a little booth up with, like, 2 iPhones and get a quick, like, head and bust scan of someone, and they can buy and amenitize my wedding by buying little figurines of themselves at the wedding.
I don't think it would go that fast. They generally don't.
Yeah, but you make them really small. Make them really small. Like just a little bit small. Because then, like, they have a thing they can take away.
Yeah.
Which is, like, them as the best they've looked because they've come dressed for a wedding. And then they get to take something home as, like, a little memorabilia of, like, them and their partner or their kid.
Right.
So they're like, look, here's a thing. And that can be the gift to the wedding, is instead of buying a 16th Hoover for some reason, you bought a service and you got something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of just giving money, you gave money and got something back. Isn't that such a better idea than just give us money?
Look, there's a lot of value to having things like that at weddings. I think wedding planners do custom invitations, right?
Oh my
Custom
god, yeah. I mean, okay,
invitations.
side tangent. I had an idea for the wedding invites. I had an idea for the wedding invites.
Okay.
Mopa laser,
Okay.
brass sheets,
Okay.
laser etch into the brass
Mm-hmm.
the invite. So
I
you have a physical metal card.
I would do stainless because you can do multicolor on the stainless. You
Oh
can
my god,
selectively blue it.
yeah.
Yeah. I would do thin sheets of stainless. I mean, you can you can do it on other materials too, but it is generally the best on titanium or stainless, and you get like
Because wouldn't that be such a good wedding invite card? Is everyone gets
Oh, yeah.
paper or a text invite, and you gave them the slate. Like, we could do that. We could buy slates
I can do that
and
now.
laser etch into that.
Yeah,
like,
I can do that now.
You could do stuff like that, and I think it'll be really neat. And again, I get to have a tool
Well,
that I
so
could then use to make money in the future.
for the slate, you do that when the guests arrive, and that's how they find where they sit. They find where they're instead of a place card, they're looking for a coaster with their name on it, and the wedding date and all of that, and that's theirs to take home.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a really good
and
idea.
you do because slate is very expensive to ship because you have to pack it very, very well,
Yeah.
or it gets damaged. That's their problem, right? Let them handle that on the way home. But a thin piece of steel, super easy to ship. Super, super, super easy to ship.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I just have those ideas. Like, if I had a resin printer and I had that UV printer and I had
Yep.
the laser, I could just do anything. And again, it's under the wedding budget. It's definitely for the wedding and not my personal little hobby of just collecting every machine in the planet and doing nothing with it. Definitely not. But
I mean, look,
I think it would just be a really nice little thing to do.
I am happy to reach out to these companies and present this to them, but you're going to have to promise me you don't watch the videos because we're going to have to release the videos likely before the wedding.
I can promise that.
Yeah,
I can promise I will do all my recording in a vacuum where I do not know anything about the videos that you've made.
I mean,
anyone else.
We can work together on trying to get these companies on board. But I actually think, like, given the content opportunity there, we could probably get. I mean, I've got contacts at Heygears. We could probably make Heygears come in on it. I don't have amazing contacts at Xtool, but I can dig out the old ones that we worked with on the F1 for and see if we can look at like an F1 Ultra. But ideally, I'd rather go with that Creality Falcon T1 that can do the cubes because you can offer the cubes. The cubes are something that are fast enough to do at the wedding.
Oh my god, they're so nice.
And that
they're
is
so nice.
That is something, yeah. And that's something that's like, it's not full color, but it'll be done in 5 minutes. Right.
I mean, you can even get those like little LED placemats that they go on so it glows all the way through and it will look so pretty. Oh my, fully sponsor. This is the YouTuber dream, is sponsoring your own wedding. And I'm all here for this. Wait. More importantly, hey Rosie, are you here for us sponsoring our wedding as YouTube? She said woo.
I mean,
yes.
Why would Rosie have an issue with a lower cost to do certain things for the wedding? I don't see a downside for that. Now,
I don't see any downsides either.
The YouTube channel will not be sponsoring the entire wedding, but there might be some things that we could work together on where we create content and it ends up being a valuable asset for the brand that we want to work with. Like, hi, this is us literally having a live business discussion, right? We don't, if you won't,
because I could see like
we
us
plan the
coming
stuff,
up
you're
with
totally
ways.
wrong. Oh yeah,
we're coming up with ways to both show the impact these tools have in one of the most important events of someone's life. Like having those little crystal boxes that you can laser into and having that there and seeing how that makes people's lives better and enjoy the event more is already a story in itself.
Yep.
And then adding the UV printer and seeing if we could do like keychains, or we could do those mini 3D people and find a pipeline and piece it together. I feel like this is very like what's I've forgotten his name because I'm awful at names. Not James Osman. Who ran open source?
William Osman. You were close.
William Osman. I'm so bad at names. I got the Osman bit.
Yeah.
But like, this is a very like William Osman. Just, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm putting it together at the last minute. I'm going to irradiate myself in some way, and I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. Look, I will build what the X-ray scanner that he made and print out somebody's skeleton at the wedding if I wanted to.
Look, let's set some time next week or this coming week, and let's sit down, legitimately decide what we would need to do it, what we could promise out of it, what type of money we would want out of it. Because like, I need to understand more about how many people are being invited to the wedding, because like that's how much raw material we're going to need, you know. And you know,
and again, it doesn't have to monetize all of it, because again, we're going to do the wedding anyway. So
oh my gosh, that's so good too. On my UV printers, we have printed custom Lego people in blocks. That's
oh my god, that's a great idea, because you could get Lego blanks.
Yeah, and then you print the people's
and print custom faces on.
Yeah, they get to choose their own face.
We could use like the Heygears AI suite and just generate the people's face from the photo.
Yep. And then Reliance that needs some fancy lamps. Hey, your centerpieces on each table could be one of his really dope ass B lamps. And
that'd be so good.
If we are feature creeping the shit out of this wedding.
And they were all supposed to be.
They were all Wi-Fi connected, and they change colors based on what's happening, right? So it's like, oh, okay, it's time to eat.
Somebody's gonna do the speech, and they all change to speech lighting.
Yeah, exactly. They change to speech lighting. Oh, that would be ridiculous. That sounds like a lot of work.
This is gonna be the best wedding on the bloody planet.
It's gonna be,
and that gives me more reason to get those lights.
I disagree, and I'm sorry, but you're gonna have a really hard time beating my friend Adam Bohn, Bohn. If you look up Artix, Artix wedding on YouTube, his wedding included full contact. Well, I guess it's not full contact fighting, but people are wearing real armor, like metal armor. Jimmy Hart is there, the Mouth of the South, you know, and the wife is in on it. It's great. Like it's gonna be hard to beat his wedding, but he owns Artix Entertainment. They're an MMORPG positioned toward like teens, tweens, and I guess now they're pushing into the 20s and 30s, because people that played when they were teenagers are still playing later on. Yep. Artix, Artix Entertainment. If you look up Artix wedding,
scan through of his video. That's pretty.
It's a pretty good
probably
wedding.
Get close. I do have a HEMA group that I'm involved in.
There's like ninjas and stuff, man. Like, I'm just saying.
We could have a kids try out hitting each other with swords area.
Don't do that. Let's not do that.
It's okay. They do it. We're licensed for it. It's fine.
You're not insured for that.
They're like foam swords.
Your wedding is not insured for that.
Yeah, it will be. Anywhere that I go, that venue actually gains another level of insurance through my business. And I've got 10 million in insurance for it.
I
think
I can feel the lawyers salivating. I can feel lawyers salivating the next county's over if this happened in America. But
yeah, European insurance is really good for businesses, because it like, for example, are you insured to drive other people's cars in America?
Kind of. It's yes. Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. Because in the UK, yeah, like I can drive anyone's car, and I have full coverage insurance on my own insurance for my own single car to drive anyone else's vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And they get that insurance covered them. So they'd have their insurance and my insurance covering their vehicle.
Yeah, I'm even looking at like for the groomsmen, custom dice bags, right? You could do
Oh
custom
my god,
dice
yes.
bags. You could do custom dice. You could 3D print the dice
We
with
could make
clear.
faux piss dice.
If you
We could
really,
recreate the piss dice.
if that's what you would want to do for your groomsmen, that's something you could do.
Yes.
And machines like the Heygears and all that would enable you to do that. Yeah. Would they be legal playing dice? No, they're not going to be weighted properly. Well, if they're
No, they
dead
would be.
solid, they
The
would be.
UV inks would be the
Yeah.
identical weight, and the pigments don't add anything.
That might.
Oh,
You're
I
right.
think that's an entire video on its own. Like, let's make some
Yeah.
custom dice on the printer. That would be great.
Reliant
Oh my
says I
god.
can work out a sound interactive version, outfit them with a battery, so you don't have wires everywhere. If this is planned for April, I can transport them to Smurf. I will say we'll probably, if we end up using B lamps, we'll just run them off of like, cell phone battery packs, and that'll be fine. USB-C PD, 12 volts, because that's what I think what you need. You get
Yep.
battery packs that are big enough, move on. Right. And that'll be fine for the event. But again, like
Feature creep, we're gonna probably talk
feature
about this
creeping the hell out of it.
off camera, because oh my god, I never expected how much fun I could be having with these tools for this.
So I will say this is something that I'm working on, and I think might value you to work on something similar. I am coding myself, and when I say I'm vibe coding it, a ideas dashboard that it
Yep.
will allow me to just dump ideas into it. And I can mark, do I want to work with Claude on this? Do I want to work alone on this? If I want to work alone on this, what are my stages? If I want to work with the team on this, who do I want to bring in? I click people and they get invited into the project. And the idea is that it will help me better ideate the projects. And if we deprecate a project and we kill it, it goes into a graveyard. We can dig it back out. But if we dig it back out, there become certain requirements associated with it if we want to dig it back out.
That's pretty cool.
If the idea doesn't get made within 6 months, it automatically goes to the graveyard. Because if you don't see it to fruition within 6 months, or at least start the project to get it there, like video wise, you're wasting your time. So like this is what I'm working on personally with vibe coding right now, because I think that is going to help me as we, look at kind of sunsetting Print Fix Friday as a weekly series. I want to start doing bigger and better videos, right? I want production quality, the level of like what Neokoi Prints has, what Danny has. His production quality is amazing, and arguably he doesn't have anywhere near the amount of followers he should have. I mean, the man is making million+ subscriber levels of content at a fraction of that number. And it upsets me because I really do like Danny. He's a personal friend of mine. I love his work. And it's like, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't hit.
Sometimes
I don't
it just
understand
goes that
why.
way.
But I want like his level of thought process and all of that. Yeah, I want to do better. And part of that means I have to keep myself in check. And like we're Rural King. Okay. You don't even know what Rural King is. Okay.
The only Royal King I know is Rosie.
Oh my God. If you think Walmart is redneck, Rural King is redneck Walmart. Okay.
Oh,
like
okay.
the ammo isn't in glass cases. There's tons of guns. You can buy live chickens and ducks to raise them. You can buy,
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Farm equipment. Oh yeah, I always take pictures of little chickens. You can buy like real farm equipment there. But we're working on a project where I need to source a really, really, really powerful load cell. Like it has to be a minimum 10-ton load cell. But I'm looking.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, I preferably I want like a 50-ton load cell, just to be certain, because we're gonna start doing like the fan test channel.
Okay, no, okay. You don't need a load cell. You can cheat this entirely.
But I want a load
with
cell.
the James Webb Space Telescope micro motors. So it's a solid flexure arm that
Mm-hmm.
uses the fact that the load on the tip flexes in a certain way that the load at the bottom moves a certain amount. Because what they do is they do these micron adjustments to make the lenses move, but they need to be sturdy enough for zero vibration,
Right.
and you can just scale it up because it's just living hinge. It's a double living hinge system. You might want to look into that because load cells at the 5 ton plus mark become very expensive very
They're
fast.
actually not that bad. Like,
Really? The last time I checked, they're like 5 grand plus.
no.
Like
Let me
living
see.
hinges are kind of cheap. It's just cut a piece of metal with a wire EDM and you're good.
I mean, there are definitely ones that are that expensive. Uh, why does it say 1,000 kilos is 5 tons? Okay, I guess that makes that's close to 5 tons. $165.
1,000 kilos is 1 ton.
Right, but in American, it's not.
What?
1 ton is 1 ton's 2,000 pounds. Oh, I'm sorry.
One.
I'm sorry. They have 3 different variants. They have a 1,000 kilo, a 10 ton, and a 5 ton. The way that it showed me on Google, forgive me. All right, a 10 ton is $240. Now it's a compression load cell, which is
That's actually pretty good.
I don't.
That's just. It's a puck basically.
Yeah, it's
It's
puck.
a they go together.
Yep. Yeah, 5 ton is 175. But I don't know. I'll share in the Discord $10 tier and higher of what I want to do, but I want to get it all written down first. But basically, we're gonna how Stefan does his little pull
Yep.
break. Yeah, no, we're gonna do it on a Florida Man level.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do it on a Florida Man
Hell
level.
yeah.
I have a 6-ton chain winch, and I want it to fail.
That's cool.
And we have a fiber seek machine. So
Ooh. I need to send them an email because I really want to get my hands on one of them.
yeah, I look, I've got god tier polymers. I'm gonna put metal in there. And we're gonna test like metal SLS versus laser cut versus fiber. I'm sorry, versus plasma, right? Like, gonna try to really say, all right, where do we draw the line in terms of viability for 3D prints and replacements for metal? Like, that's one of the videos I want to work on. But there's like all this stuff involved, including finding chain that is strong enough, because steel cable's not strong enough. I was looking at different steel cables at Rural King, and no, not even close. Like,
Yeah, they can be fairly weak.
like 1,000-pound working load, which is no, but they had a chain that was good for 6,000 pounds. That's only 3 tons.
Are you sure you want chain though?
What else would I use?
So a lot of the glass fiber cord can go to much higher capacities.
But the cord itself is going to yield. The chain will stretch a little bit, but that's it. The cord will yield a
Yeah,
lot.
but it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is see how much load you can give it, you don't really care about how much it yields, because once it yields a certain bit, it won't yield any further if it's within its rating.
We want to graph it. So we want to graph it where we can and be able to determine what the actual like rate of deflection is, if we apply a pulling load or a compressing load, what does that all look like? And, if the compressing pucks are cheapest, okay, how do I build it so we transfer the pulling load to a compression load? And can I get away with using a 10-to-1, right? Where
Yeah, like as Scott Allman Joy says, cable. Like I've seen single cable that goes for like 50 tons.
The steel cable that I saw in the stores max at 1,000 pounds. Working load.
Have a look at building construction sites, like construction cable, like the thing that they use for cranes, or guide wires for aerials. Like when I was working at the RAF and doing aerial erection, Like,
Eh,
the cable that we were using was rated for 30 tons plus. Because if you have to put up like 100-foot antenna, you need to tie that down to
yeah,
withstand storms.
yeah. And again, I don't know much about it. You guys can see I am very much kind of in the initial stages of how to do it, what to do it with, etc.
I wouldn't use chain. Chain is problematic. There is benefits for chain, but chain gets problematic fast.
What, when it has a case of the come aparts?
Yes, it gets
Okay.
deadly.
I mean, steel cable's no different.
When steel cable goes, it's kind of like a whip crack. When chain goes, it's a whip crack and shards will shoot out at a random angle.
Oh, homie, I'm not going to be anywhere near this. Not going to be anywhere near this. I'm using trees.
Go with cable.
My
Also,
anchors
cable,
are
you
trees.
can get them rated so high that you're never risking them breaking.
Yeah, these are things that I'm going to have to figure out. I don't, again.
And as Sam Basler says, they don't use cable for lifting loads on cranes, they use wire rope.
That's fair.
There you go.
That's fair.
I've been using cable and wire rope interchangeably. I view them as the same thing, but that's a bad habit of mine. But like, think of how suspension bridges are done. That's all wire rope.
Yes, but they're also like friggin' this big.
Yeah, but they're for like tens of millions of tons of material.
But like, I'm just saying that's the kind of stuff that like I'm building. I would recommend that you build something similar for these wedding ideas so you can get them all down as you're thinking about them and you're not like, oh, what was that? What was that? No, have a place where they live and have a countdown timer. And you're basically...
I would have put them in my lovely little notebook because I already had some.
Well, you don't
but I don't have it anymore.
This is where I would put it on my notebook if I had one. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. We have to move past that, unfortunately. R.I.P. to the real one, that notebook. Yeah,
it's not the car, it's the notebook.
I'm working on it. I'm gonna say an app. It's a web app that will run on our GitHub page and all that. We'll see. But it's literally, I started it last night. I have a working functional prototype, but now I'm gonna start building some more of the...
Which AI agent are you using?
Claude.
Have you tried Codex yet?
No.
Do you have a ChatGPT subscription?
No. Got rid of it.
I have found for Codex in particular, fights toe-to-toe with Claude. And the cost for credit usage is lower for Codex. So you can do a lot more for less.
Claude,
so the $20 tier it gets you a lot.
Claude, for what we do, makes the most sense. Like it's more universally acceptable and all of that for the company, and for the work that we do with the company. However, personal. Look, I'm not a coder. I don't understand coding. Like, I recently added the I have ADHD.
I'm always happy to run you through it.
No,
like,
I'm so
a
bad.
Professionally trained coder. But like, for example, I used Codex to do a full bank analysis on my banking, my PayPal, but I was lazy, so I just let it log into my banking details to skim everything, and it skimmed over 15 gigabytes worth of files. It used 2% of my weekly budget within the subscription tier. And one chat link has only used about 50% of my context window.
I'm going to stick with what I have right now. I don't want to have to go learn something else. So I'm going to...
Oh yeah, and as Mally says in the chat, Codex just keeps resetting your usage limits for some reason. They are just constantly like, more people downloaded Codex, reset the usage limit, so you never run out of usage limit. I've run out of it once, and that was when I did a full, this was my first vibe code, just go and do it. I set up 8 sub-agents. All of them were like UX testers, UI testers, psychology of design, like analysts, all of this, and I recreated the Clipper web UI from the ground up. I got it to download the entire GitHub, linked it all together, so now there could be a toggle box to have a simple, nice UI that's fully customizable and switches back to the original. But it found so many bugs in the original code, and it's the only time, and it took 2 full days to use my context window. And then it reset 5 hours later because they just reset the context window for the week.
We had a couple of people ask about the animation with the story. I put out some feelers. I haven't heard anything back. I really want to avoid vibe coding or, generative
Vibe
animating the
animating.
whole thing. But I think this community violently doesn't understand how expensive real animators cost. To animate that whole story properly, tens of thousands of dollars, right?
Yep.
To pay real animators to do it.
Oh, it's expensive. Unless you want MS Paint dragging it around.
Yeah.
Which could be funny in itself.
So I'm working on it. I guess I'm going to try Fiverr next. But my issue with Fiverr is simply,
can you pass me
the likelihood of somebody on Fiverr just vibe animating the whole thing anyways. It's like, well, then I could have just done it myself. So many people like Iranian Lego videos.
On the right in the middle. The ballistic computer.
Yeah, Scotty Alma Joyce is 100,000 easy. Yeah, okay. Lori Ann Brown says I used to be an animator, and I can second that. Yeah, like
just going back to AI for a second. Grant, pick yourself up one of these. So this is the older generation AGX Orin. I have this because I'm using it as a ballistic missile computer for a couple of military projects I'm working on. But these are good enough to load Quen 80 billion with 3 active billion token AI models locally at 50 tokens per second.
Can I just run it on a Mac Mini?
How much unified memory does it have? 16. No, you need 64 gigabytes of VRAM.
Nope.
To do that.
I don't have that kind of money.
But this cost $1,000.
When?
It's 100. Like 2 years ago, it was worth 2.6 grand.
Okay, what is it called?
This is an AGX Orin developer kit, 64 gig. These can run quite hefty local models. Also, they can be like SLI'd together, so you could get the bigger ones.
It's a Jetson. It's NVIDIA Jetson.
Yes. Yeah, it's a Jetson Orin. AGX Orin. If you're looking for using more AI locally and you're running out of tokens, or you want your editors to have more access without sending data, and it keeps it all on your own internal stuff, you can use Quen 3.6,
Jacob,
35 billion.
Jacob, I'm going to stop you. I'm just going to stop you.
Am I turbo nerding?
It's $3,500.
What?
Have you not seen the price of RAM and memory these days?
Are you looking at the Thor chip?
No, sir.
I know that's expensive.
No, sir. The AGX Orin developer kit, AI performance 275 tops, a 2048 core NVIDIA Ampere architecture GPU with 64 tensor cores, power 15 to 60 watts, $3,499.
Oh my God.
Have you not been following how expensive stuff has been these days?
Oh my God, yeah. It's 3,000 euros now.
Yeah. So we're not going to be doing that.
No, I don't recommend that anymore. Have a look on the second-hand market if someone's getting rid of this from a university and not realizing what they've got in their hands.
I don't care enough to go through that. Like, what we're doing right now is totally fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take everything back. I'm going to be setting this up as my own AI. And when I'm not using it, I'll give you the API key so you can just send questions to it. Because it's a ballistic missile computer. It can do everything.
I'm not.
I'm going to
Look,
be using it.
I rarely ever hit my limits in Claude, and I'm okay with that. Right? I don't. I don't need more than the $20 tier right now. So
Honestly, the $20 tiers on all of them are really good. They're really good. You get so much. And if you run out in one, if you've got like a good IDE, you can get the $20 tier in another one and just switch to it, and it will keep working. Like, it's good. Oh, apparently some people have got the Quen 3.6 35 billion 3 active on a Quant 4 level, so it's pretty small.
on a GPU that I don't own.
An RTX 3060. No, that means no, it will work on your Mac Mini. An RTX 3060 only has 8 gigs of VRAM. And they're getting 20 tokens a second. You'll get like 45 then. Look, which is the same speed as most of the agents.
I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm not going like heavy down that field yet. I'm going to stick to what I got. I have to get more comfortable. This is something, I think this is great business advice for anybody, right? I am not comfortable going to that next step of like running it on my own hardware and all of that. I don't mind like running Python scripts on my own hardware, but running full LLMs on my own software or on my own hardware, on my own silicon here is a little bit beyond what my use case for everything is right now. At some point it might be, and I'm keeping an eye on it, but you know, we've got 2 Mac Minis that currently just don't get used very often. We were generally going to be converting one to be...
Oh, you've got 2 of them?
We have 3 Mac Minis.
Oh, that's
total.
Even better. Oh, that's good. So the Mac Minis, you can link them together
we will not be
to
doing
share
that.
Their memory pool.
We will not be doing that.
All it means is you can use bigger, better models at faster speeds.
I don't want to go through all that effort. I'm good.
But you know what's really good for? Not linking them together, but using your local stuff is for daily automated tasks that would use your limits in like Claude. So like I've got one that checks all my emails daily. And it goes through up to like 300 emails and schedules them in order of importance. Like I had one that came through today that thankfully Rosie caught almost immediately. But it would have caught it and put it as my #1 email, and I would have been able to respond within minutes. And that uses quite a lot of context window, which would maybe knock 10% of my weekly limit off because it's just checking so much and it's reading them all. And I make sure it doesn't hallucinate, so I've got it on higher settings.
I haven't gotten to that point.
Having it run on a local model, that's quite useful.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point where it's a problem yet. We will see. I haven't ran out of like usage. I'm not using subagents for stuff like that yet. I'm going slow. I'm taking it slow. Some people will want
to. But are you having fun?
I'm more afraid that I don't understand 100% of what I'm doing. So I will often stop, do a lot of research on what it wants me to do, and determine, is that within my security limitations for what I want to do with this? And Jacob, you do know that there is an AI channel in the Discord where MLV, Jimmy, and a few others are constantly talking about this stuff, right?
I did not know that.
Oh my God. All right, I'll tag you in it.
Please tag me in it.
Yep.
When did an AI channel get made?
It's been there for a long time. It's been there before you were around.
Oh, that's why. I see where it is. I just muted that entire section.
Oh, yeah, the not safe for work area. Yeah.
Which is ironic, because it's very safe for work.
Most of the time it is. But, yeah, I'm trying to learn as I go. I could just put things on auto mode and just trust it, but I want to have a better understanding of what I'm doing. Some business owners are happy to accept levels of risk that I'm not.
I
wouldn't. That will be the difference between what they do and what we do. I never give it
full authorization to just do what it wants. I still have it on ask for permission, which honestly has been fine. it keeps me engaged with what it's doing. The only time when I give it full authorization is in projects that I know the scope is small. Like, it's not going to go off on the internet and search for a thing and come back with a thing and integrate with GitHub or anything. I only give it full auth if it's something tiny. Ironically, I gave it full auth to talk to my banks.
Yeah, no.
But that's because I needed it to make a bank safe scraper bot. And to do that, it needs to do quite a lot of things.
See,
but it worked great. And
that's an unreasonable limit
runs,
for me.
I
won't be
still
doing that.
have it with, I need to run it myself. It can write it, but it can't run it.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. But again, certain people have different levels of risk exposure that they're willing to take. Right now, I am taking as little risk exposure as possible. I'm even running it on like an old laptop that in like limiting what is on that laptop, limiting the network speed of that laptop. And in the event that things go really wrong, I pull out the 9 and put some holes in it, right? Like, I'm not afraid to just nuke this whole thing and move on, but I need to learn at a safe spot for myself. So yeah.
But that's the right way to do it, is do it slowly, get comfortable with it. And the more that you research about everything, the more you realize a lot of the things they're talking about are kind of interconnected, and getting the building blocks suddenly grows faster and faster.
Well, and that's why I'm like, I built a little Discord bot that messages me every single day at 5 p.m. Asks me, what did I feel? What was busy work? Like, what did I feel wasn't a good, valuable use of my time? Every Friday, it will start a new Claude session when I open up Claude Next, and it will say, this is what you said. This is what I've pulled out as a pattern. This is what we could build from this. How do you want to look to automate things that aren't a good use of your time? Because at the end of the day, as a business owner, the thing that is most valuable to me is my time. No matter how much money I'm charging for it, it is the one thing I can't get more of on this world. So if I can use an AI assistant to help me determine where those inefficiencies are, I can then go to our coding guy and say, hey, is this something that you think is valuable for you to code, or should I just vibe code this? And he's like, yeah, vibe code that. Mad Cat says you need a bot to remind you to pay invoices. Well, if staff members didn't set invoices to be paid at 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe those invoices would get paid on time.
Do you guys not have like the statutory limit for when an invoice has to be paid for? So like in the UK, it's normally like 14 days or 30 days.
I just tell the staff 70
to give notice.
I just tell them to set a calendar invite in my calendar for 72 hours after they submit the invoice. That way it gives me 3 days to look through.
Grant, do you hate yourself?
Sometimes.
Do you hate yourself? Why 72 hours? Like, no one in the UK does that.
It's 3 days.
7 days minimum. 7 working days. Business days.
People need their money faster than that. Sorry. They do.
I mean, you can do it faster, but that's the limit, is...
I do it in 3.
Also, like, in the UK, like, if you go over your limit, then you actually start charging interest on the limit for each day that it's over, which is fixed at the inflationary bank rate in the UK. So if they go over, say it's £100, and then they go over by a day, it will go up by 1 day's worth of inflation.
These are team members, okay?
Amount, it goes up.
These aren't vendors. These are team members. I mean, technically they're vendors, but they're team members to me, and I don't need them waiting that long for their money. I think 3 days is reasonable, and if I don't have time to look at it, then I pay it, because it's on me. If I didn't have time to look at it and they fudge their numbers and I didn't catch it, sucks to suck. That's my fault, not theirs. And, do I want something that will help me do that better? Sure. Am I going to give AI the opportunity to do that? No. At some point, will we just give team members the ability to pay themselves? Probably. Are we at that point? No, we are not.
Oh, that's a great opportunity to have just like an assistant bot. When somebody submits an invoice, it can check the last invoices, see if it's roughly in line, and then give you a notification saying, hey, this invoice is ready to pay. And then you just click one button and it actions it.
Maybe. That right now is not a big time sink for me. The big time sink stuff for me is like some of the dumb crap that doesn't matter. But like I'm also using it to track my like my mental health. How am I feeling?
Oh, that's great.
Because I'm literally using it to chart progression as I'm going through things. Like the idea here is for me to have a better understanding of myself in the process of having a better understanding for my business.
Yep. Like I've realized for me, my mental health goes down. And again, I've got an app that I quickly wrote up. It just sends me a text message saying like, what were you feeling today? Because otherwise I forget to write down in my journal. I need that prompt and it just gives me the prompt. But I've realized recently the biggest thing for my mental health was my back pain. If I have slept well and I'm awake and alert in my head, if I have back pain,
well, I can tell you why you have
sluggish.
back pain. Jesus Christ. Rosie posted a behind the scenes photo of you from that couch, and brother.
Oh no, that looks terrible.
Brother.
I'm doing it so the camera has a
my
nice focus.
my back pain looks like an effing shrimp over there. Like,
yeah, but if I like,
I mean, I think that's how Mitch McConnell
like
probably
this.
looks at this point.
I
That's
look
fine.
like this if I sit up properly.
That's fine.
Also, that is the most unflattering photo I've ever seen of myself. Oh my god.
Yes, Anna Devminer said I shrimpathize with this. It's true.
Like this is what I would look like, and I think this looks a lot less.
You're getting called out,
personable
homie.
In YouTube,
I think a lot of this is your own damn fault.
Does this look bad in YouTube?
No.
Like if I sit like this, because it looks like.
No, it's fine.
But if I sit like this, it looks like I'm more soft spoken and I can talk to you guys better. But if I go straight up, I'm like.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's just me. All right. I'm ready to wrap. Are you ready to wrap?
Terrible photo. Yeah, I'm ready to wrap. We've gone all the way through from talking about UV printers, my car, to a wedding, to lasers, to AI, and we're definitely going to have to talk about that wedding in more detail because I am so hyped to just... I don't even care about anything. I just want this to be the coolest wedding possible, and having all of this tech that a lot of people would never have seen before and then make a use case for it makes the business side of my brain go, you're on activation.
I believe Steve is streaming, so we'll go send you guys over to see Mr. Steve Builds. Check out the sponsors. Links are below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe on your way out. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. And hey, if you're in the Discord, $10 tier and higher, I'll be there hanging out after this. Don't know how long, but we'll be there for at least 20, 30 minutes minimum. So, all right. See y'all. Take care.
Bye. And for everyone saying I have bad posture, I do have an ergonomic gaming chair. It's just not here.
It's still bad
cats
posture.
Will destroy it. It's a good chair.
Yep. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.